Hey, fatty. We're going to talk about loose skin, fast weight loss, hibernation mode. So first off, let's talk about weight loss. How many pounds are you going to lose when you're sitting dry? Okay, no intake at all for days on end. Okay, how much weight are you actually going to lose? How is it substantial compared to just anything else? Yeah, it's substantial. Okay, we're talking if you're 600 pounds, if you busted out 10 days in hibernation mode, you're going to lose 1% of your body weight a day. All right, we're talking like 60, 50, 60 pounds in 10 days. Okay, if not more. Okay, if you're 300 pounds, we're talking like 30 plus pounds in 10 days easy, if not more. Okay, it's substantial. Okay, it literally doubles, even triples your weight loss. Okay, you can't lose weight faster than that. Okay, when a bear hibernates, they're not taking in any food, any water. They're also not exercising, they're not doing nothing. Okay, this brings us to loose skin. The way you're going to tighten loose skin, the way you're going to make your body eat loose skin. Because skin is protein. Skin is protein. And when you've gained a pile of weight, you got excessive amounts of skin on your body. Your epidermis literally grows. There's more square footage of epidermis on you. Okay, as soon as you go into hibernation mode, okay, we know this from the past. Okay, that tightens loose skin up like crazy, makes your body eat everything. Everything that doesn't need to be there. Tumors, loose skin, okay, plaque, everything. Your body just goes into incinerator mode is what happens. Okay, your body's trying to make up water that you're not ingesting by burning way more body fat. Your body's trying to make up the protein that you're not eating by eating loose skin. Okay, loose skin is your tomahawks. Loose skin is your ribeye. Okay, so the diet you would pair with hibernation mode is going to be literally a zero fat, zero protein diet. And that's going to get the fastest weight loss, and that's going to give you the tightest skin. Okay, I've dug deep into this now. Okay, you go back to some of these old protocols like I was talking about in yesterday's live, Walter Kempner. Okay, these people were losing crazy amounts of weight in his ward on the rice diet, which was basically straight carbohydrate, low cal. Okay, not even doing hibernation mode, which would be filling off Russian Siberian fasting retreats, okay, that they were using to beat the C word. Okay, why do you think you can beat the C word when you start pulling the protein out of the diet? Because you need protein in the diet, and you need to be in excess to even build up any tissue. It's just common sense. Now, could you have some success just running the calories really low and keeping your body in a massive state of weight loss, eating whatever you want, shrinking some tumors? Yeah. Okay, is it going to do what somebody that's in hibernation mode? Is it going to get that kind of result? No. Is it going to get the kind of result that if somebody did a grape fast or did a fruit diet or did straight potatoes? No. Okay, you don't need any protein, no fat. Okay, fat people don't need to eat anything. Okay, that's the facts. Okay, people don't want to hear it. Okay, there's literally, as soon as you're in hibernation mode, there's no money involved. Okay, you're not spending a dime. Okay, the next level of autophagy would be water fasting, snake juice salts, which when you're doing the water fasting on the snake juice salts, you could do some activity. Okay, when you're in hibernation mode, you don't do nothing. All right, okay, I had some questions here. And like I say, the diet you would pair with it. Okay, now I'm not gonna give you guys not all the information. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. Low protein is the diet you would pair. Low protein, low calories. So by default, if you're trying to go as low as you can on the calories, the fat's gonna be rock bottom. Okay, by default, if you're trying to go as low as you can on the protein, you're gonna be eating a plant-based diet. Okay, do you have to be a vegan forever or no, you don't. Okay, you don't even have to put the vegan title on it. Okay, a lot of vegans eat a lot of shit. Okay, I'm telling you exactly what you need to eat and what not to eat. Okay, hibernation mode paired with wet fruit, zero fat, crazy low protein, carbohydrates. And that's gonna make your body eat the loose skin. Especially at the start, you're not wasting any time, because if you're trying to run a deficit on a diet that's higher in protein, you're trying to run a deficit, because if you're not losing weight, you're not in a calorie deficit. Okay, the scale is not gonna lie to you there. But say you're losing weight on something that looks like chicken and rice or chicken and vegetables, some low carb bullshit. Okay, but I'll tell you this, I can't lie to you guys. There is a low carb diet out there that will also chew on loose skin. All right. However, it's crazy low protein. It's crazy low protein. Okay, we're talking like a 4-to-1 ketogenic diet, which has one real use, and that's for epileptics. Okay, that was never one of the protocols 100 years ago that people used to beat the C word. It was a treatment for epileptics. Basically, that's it. So we're talking, if you're eating like 1,000 calories, we're talking like way under 50 grams of protein a day. Okay, like ideally zero. So now you're just eating oil. So what's going to have obviously there's no adherence there. Okay, there's no adherence. Okay, that would have been like when I was talking about the snake oil diet. Okay, crazy low protein. Okay, a 4-to-1 ketogenic diet is not a zero carb carnivore. Okay, we're talking straight oil. But I don't push that no more, because the electrolytes get way out of whack, and it screws up women's thyroid function, and this adherence is terrible, and if you don't have a gallbladder, there's no way you're doing that. Okay? And there's no volume. Okay, there's no food volume, and try knocking the calories down to like 500. Okay, you can't do it. It's too rich. Okay, it's too low, and it's too low volume. And then also the other side effect as well, you can't get the protein as low, like I say, because if you bring the protein down to honest to God almost zero, then you're looking at straight oil. But will you chew up loose skin eating pure oil? Pure oil? Yeah. If you're in a deficit on pure oil. All right, like, are you going to get a big autophagy effect on pure oil? Yeah. Are you going to get a crazy autophagy effect on watermelon, no protein, no fat? Yeah. Are you going to get the craziest autophagy effect when you're in hibernation mode? Yeah. Are you going to have no risk of constipation, because there's no way you're going to sustain a crazy low protein, low carb diet that's actually going to get the results that the plant-based diet's going to get with the low protein, with the adherence. It's impossible. It's impossible, all right? So that scratches that. See, your stupid zero carb carnivore diet isn't even close to what I just said for a protocol. It's not even close. And that's why everyone stalled on it. And that's why anybody that actually did yard the calories down low enough to get any decent weight loss results, they have loose skin all over the place. You go look at some of these zero low protein, zero fat. Obviously, they're eating low calorie count. Some of these fruitarians, okay, their skin's like tighter than a guitar string. Their skin's taut. All right, it's taut. You make your body like let's get real. What's going to be higher adherence? Crazy low protein, and you can't even get the protein down. Like, man, try getting the protein down as low on that low carb diet where we need it to chew on loose skin. You ain't gonna be able to do it. You're talking like in the calories. Have fun eating 1,000 calories on a diet that's basically zero carb, straight oil, that is like literally like 10 grams or less of protein. Zero ideally. You ain't gonna be able to do it. You ain't gonna be able to do it. You're going to be able to get away with way more food variety if you just let go of your stupid diet dogma and eat fruit and roots. And you just cut the meat right out. Right out. Okay, not to mention some of them fats still aren't good. Okay, I'll tell you right now. Some of these saturated fats, it's heart attack city. Are you going to take that risk? Have diarrhea out the ass? Okay, a lot of people have, like, as soon as you have no gallbladder, literally going crazy, doing something like a 4-to-1 keto diet, trying to lose weight on that, keeping the calories low at the protein rock bottom, have fun, be on the shitter all day long. All right, so yeah, people are asking about Matt. He's still here. Okay, he's still here. He's still here. He hasn't left. He's in hibernation mode. Okay, once he's doing his thing, we start making lives, then you can talk more. Okay, I'm going to start answering some of these questions. See, I use the word hibernation mode to get around YouTube when you start saying DF. Okay, you guys know what that is? Okay, like we're talking crazy fast weight loss. Like you fat people, like you fat pigs, you just got to sit there and like literally just don't put nothing in your mouth at all. It's not even hard. It's not even hard. 10, 20 days out of your life, a 20 days in hibernation mode, a really fat person, like 500 pounds, 20 days, you could lose 100 pounds. 100 pounds. Is that water? Is that water? It's just water. It's crazy amounts of body fat because your body's breaking down the fat to produce a pile of water that you're not drinking. See, this is nothing new. This is the oldest form of fasting. Want to hear the dead truth? Fasting back in the day, like the longer you go back, it was dry. The longer you go back, it was fasting. That's what it was, abstaining from everything, basically. Like when you think when Gandhi was fasting, do you think he was just slugging back water? Or was he like pretty much dry? Okay? Do you think when Jesus went into the desert and fasted for 40 days, do you think he was slugging back water? Or was it pretty much dry? Okay, it's the oldest form of fasting. Okay, this is the stuff, man, that this like literally gets you off every single medication. Okay, there's no money in it. There's no money in it. All right? And then the diet you pair it up with is dirt cheap. Okay, dirt cheap. Especially if you're smart where you get your fruit and your starch sources. If you want to get really cheap, you could, potatoes, some sort of starch, a bit of fruit, and some juice. Okay, you just don't need any protein, you fat pig. Okay, you heard it here first. You fat pigs don't need any protein. All you need is the carbs for the well-being, to give yourself some real energy from the sugar, to keep your electrolytes balanced out. Okay, if you're going into a long hibernation, you're in hibernation mode, you load up on your salts first. Ideally, you're not going to go into it coming off just a really dirty couple days of eating. Because when you start to get dried out, you don't want to be plugged up at the end. You don't want to be dealing with that. Ideally, you want to eat a very high water content diet. Okay, it's actually insane how much hibernation mode basically moisturizes your skin, hydrates your skin. You see people that are in like, they're in their last days at a hospice, and they got to pull them off everything. It's crazy how they almost age backwards for a bit before they finally kick the bucket. If they would have actually done some hibernation mode action before they ended up in that bad situation, they could have saved their life. Okay, you know how many people have beat the C word with like grape fasts and fruit fasts and juice fasts? You know why? Protein's not there. Protein's a problem. Is it a problem once you're lean? No, you got to get a minimum in. But if you're a fat ass, you don't need no protein in that diet. Okay, definitely no fat. Fat's just calories you don't need to eat. And that's why I said I got to be honest about when we're talking about the C word and, getting your body to chew on the loose skin because you're not taking any protein. Okay, I got to be full disclosure. If you're on a diet that's basically zero protein, it doesn't really matter what the other two macros, the fruit, the sugar, and the fat. As long as your calories are low or you're in a deficit and the protein's rock bottom, you're going to be chewing on loose skin. You're going to be chewing on loose skin eating a diet that was like, as long as you're in a deficit, still losing weight, you got to be losing weight. Okay, but if you're making up all your calories with literally fat and sugar, as long as it's in a deficit and the protein's low, you're going to be chewing up loose skin. If the protein's low, you're still going to be shrinking tumors. Okay, on fat and carbs. But the problem is, if you're not in a deficit, how hard is it to keep yourself in a deficit on fat and carbs? Pretty hard. Because as soon as the fat's there, the calories go through the roof. Okay, it's pretty hard to keep yourself in a deficit eating something that looks like chocolate. That's fat and carbs to the max. But could you shrink a tumor eating chocolate, a chocolate-only diet? If you're in a calorie deficit, meaning you're losing weight, and the chocolate you're eating's got like no protein in it, even though it's fat and carbs, yeah. Okay, but you haven't heard that before. Of course you could. Okay, you could literally run the calories through the floor in straight chocolate. Some sort of a chocolate source that's got like literally no protein in it. Very low protein. Okay, protein's the problem. If you want to chew up loose skin, the protein's going to come out of that diet. What things make that protein completely, well, fasting at 0. Okay, water fasting at 0. Hibernation mode at 0. Hibernation mode is going to chew extra fast on it. Hibernation mode is going to chew extra fast on it because the autophagy is through the roof. Autophagy. Nobody's talking about this no more because it just gets wiped off YouTube, so you got to come up with a different name. Rebrand it. Protein's the issue when it comes to the C word. Protein and weight gain is the issue when it comes to the C word. Straight up. And when it comes to the C word, and the funny thing is there would never be any weight gain if you weren't eating a pile of dietary fat in the first place. So that's why fat is out, because you're never going to have enough self-control to actually cut weight and get the calories low enough with a bunch of fat in that diet. And the fat people, fast weight loss is king. The faster, the better. The faster you get weight off the joints, the better. Okay, we're talking if you committed. Okay, you're not gonna die, fatty. Okay, I've done 7 days. I've been in hibernation mode in the past for 7 days. Hard, dry. And it only started getting hard when I was getting lean. If you're fat, you could lay there and do whatever you want. As long as you're not pulling on the body by causing a pile of sweating, because that's going to tax you. Okay, you don't need to do the heat work. That's going to tax you. That's just going to shorten up your hibernation. Okay, that's going to tax you. Okay, we're in like tunnel vision. We're like in weight loss and loose skin removal, tunnel vision here. Okay, loose skin removal, baby. Naturally. Who the heck? Nobody's ever said that. Okay? No one's ever said that, like, as soon as you pull the protein out of that diet, like this, when we're talking about the C word, what causes the C word is, number one at the top is going to be really bad sleep. Stress is going to be at the top. And then stress combined with the building blocks for the C word. So stress combined with the building blocks for the C word. The building blocks for the C word are a calorie surplus and protein. That's what causes a C word. Stress combined with a calorie surplus and protein. And sometimes you don't even need the calorie surplus. That's the one time I see some people that are actually slim develop the C word. Stress combined with protein. The stress is the trigger. Big time. A lot of the health issues, like I say, a lot of them are caused by you're not in a state of weight loss and the protein. Okay, and it's funny because what's the macro that they push on you to always buy? Protein. It's the most expensive, there's the most supplements. It's the most expensive, there's the most supplements. What's the one thing they don't want you to buy that's dirt cheap? Sugar. What's the one thing they try to demonize? Carbohydrates. Potatoes. Dirt cheap. Okay, you suckers just blow all your money on the wrong food. And the thing is, there's other things funny too. The food pyramid, the old food pyramid was actually correct. Okay, the new food pyramid's a crock of shit. The old food pyramid back in the day was based in calories. The lowest caloric intake foods at the bottom, which are always the lowest fat foods, and they're actually the lowest protein foods. And then as you go up the pyramid, you get the highest protein, the highest fat foods at the top, which should have been minimized. It was the old pyramid had actually a definition to it, but most people didn't recognize that because they're so, calorie denying now. The old pyramid, if you ate the stuff at the bottom, you're going to be eating less calories, you'll never get fat. Okay, now with the bullshit they got now, it's just food dogma. It's just food choice dogma bullshit. Throwing like eggs in at the that should be a big part of your diet and shit. Give me a break. Piles of red meat, give me a break. It's bullshit. That's why I always said it just never got through to people. Like, this is a whole different way of coming at this. I said for years, even with the low carb dieting, how did I push that shit for years? The protein was rock bottom. It wasn't carnivore bullshit. It was a ketogenic diet. Ketogenic around the clock diet. The protein was rock bottom. Okay, I had times where I was doing a low carb diet where I was literally eating like 50, 60 grams of protein a day and the rest was just oil. Is that ideal? No. Is that sustainable? No. Okay, does it screw your electrolytes up? Yeah. Okay, that's why a lot of these low carbers got to push the electrolytes so hard. And even I sell the electrolytes. But I'm telling you, even if you're pulling the calories really low, 1 pack a day, this would be more for water fasting. Okay, now water fasting, you got to get the salts in if you want to have a lot of energy on absolutely no food. All right, if you want to have a lot of energy on no food on a water fast, then you got to get the salts in. Because you're going to still be dumping the salts. You're going to dump the salts when you're in hibernation mode. But the thing is, in hibernation mode, that's why it's called hibernation mode. Okay, you're not moving. Okay, you don't do a bunch of exercise. It's almost like when you're in hibernation mode, you're like a water bed that has a pinhole in it. And it just keeps draining. Okay, that's your breath and you urinating and your little bit of perspiration. And your body weight will just drop nonstop. Nonstop. Is there a rebound when you come off it? Yeah. Is it minimized if you keep the calories rock bottom? Yeah. Okay, do you also lose a whack of weight the first 2 days, like even more than the 1% per day? Yeah. But that's what you can expect to lose. 1% of your total body weight in pure body fat per day. So I'm telling you, if you're 500-600 pounds, 20 days in a row, you're not going to die, fatty. Most of these people that were going to Philonov's fasting camp, okay, his hibernation camp, they'd do 12 days, and they weren't even overly obese. Okay, a lot of them would have been like pretty average size, and they were there to beat the C word. All right, what else do we got here? Okay, let's answer some questions. Let's see. Oh, here's one. G. Gray, 27, said, down 62 pounds from water and DF with your vids. God bless you. There you go. Dropping weight like crazy, buddy. You have to be able to keep asking. Matt's still here. Okay, he's still in hibernation mode. Comeback Protocol said, let's go hibernation mode, baby. Gregory Cariolis, 7286 says, hi, Cole. It is great to catch you here on a live. Looking great, my brother. Thank you very much. This is a good question. Moraine, 6129 said, question, already lost the weight. Is it too late for my loose stomach skin, or what is the protocol? Low protein diet. Okay, low protein diet. If you got a pile of loose skin on you, get leaner. So that's the other thing I want to address. Because there's going to be people like, oh, I was doing, you haven't done shit. I was doing this, you haven't done shit. Okay? So when you're in hibernation mode, you're going to be chewing up loose skin like crazy and body fat, all right? But the goal is you get slim, go deep, go deep. Go deep on the low protein, low, zero protein, go deep, okay? Go look up some of those fruitarian vegans. Even go look up the ones that that your carnivore MDs were mocking that died. Okay, go deep. They had no loose skin. Do you think you're going to die if you still have a pile of loose skin? You think you're going to die, fatty? That loose skin is like literally protein reserves. Okay, that loose skin's protein reserves, you idiots. Okay, it drives me nuts. This is why I came up with this whole thing. Because in my mind, I'm like, geez, I've never seen somebody that come out of no POW camp that had a pile of loose skin. Okay, where's the loose skin? There ain't none, because there's no protein in the diet. The body chewed it all up. So if you have loose skin right now, you pull that protein down, you pull on the body harder. Okay, you might have to go deep. Go deep. Okay, get to where you're looking like one of those fruit vegans that literally died underneath your loose skin, because what do you think's gonna happen? Then you're chewing on loose skin like crazy. Because that's only reserves you're gonna have when the fat's completely gone. Okay, now you're gonna start using the loose skin for energy. Okay, not just to make up protein. Okay, and we know that protein's a really bad energy source. That's why, like, just eating lean protein for energy is crap. But in that situation, when you run out of body fat, what do you think your body's gonna go after next, the most aggressively? When you're that lean, so that skin's gonna feel thin, and you're gonna start actually chewing it up. It's food. The skin's food, just like the body fat. And you gain epidermis when you get fatter than hell. The epidermis gets bigger, square footage goes up. Okay, you cut the weight, protein's not in that diet. It's actually crazy. When you really think about this, it's like it's a no-brainer now what diet you should be doing. It's a no-brainer. That's why anybody that had enough discipline to lose a good amount of weight on a low-carb diet, they have crazy amounts of loose skin. Crazy amounts of loose skin. Carnivore diet causes loose skin. Carnivore diet weight loss, if you even get any actual good weight loss where you're getting slim, which is like nobody, you're going to have loose skin out the ass. Because you're consuming still like a protein-based diet. So why would the body chew on the loose skin when you're just giving it all this protein? It's the same as giving your body too many calories. Why is your body going to pull on dietary fat or pull on body fat when you're giving it so much dietary calories? It's not. Okay, you put yourself in a protein deficit. Just like you put yourself in a calorie deficit to lose weight, you put yourself in a protein deficit to get rid of loose skin. All right, hopefully I answered that question. See, this is nothing new, like I say. You look at some of them people that came out of Kempner's rice diet ward, and like some of these people lost like 150, 200 pounds. Loose skin's non-existent. Non-existent. And like I say, there's so many people that have loose skin that haven't even gotten lean yet. Just because you got a bunch of loose skin because you're a fat ass, you haven't even gotten lean yet. Okay, you get lean. And then your body's going to pull on the loose skin the hardest on the low-protein diet. Okay, do you think your body's going to be pulling on loose skin if you get lean on a diet that's still entertaining a lot of protein? Nope. Nope. Why would it? Okay, why would it? Where's your collagen? In your loose skin? In your skin that you're going to eat? Like your epidermis gets bigger and smaller. Like if I gain 200 pounds right now, and I sat at that for a while, do you think my skin's just going to get thinner and stretch? No. The skin will thicken up, and it'll be the same as my skin right now. I'll just have literally twice as much. It's like I'm storing protein. I'm storing protein and body fat. That's why fat people can fast and not worry about nothing. They don't need anything. Let's see here. All right, like here's the thing. Where's the science? Okay, where's the science? Man, I'm on the cutting edge, baby. Okay, I'm always light years ahead of the damn science. Didn't anybody figure that out when I first started pushing along fast back in 2016? Okay, it's common sense. It's common sense. And you see it when you look at these skinny people that are on the low protein diet or have lost a pile of weight on the low protein diet. Especially if they were strict on it. Okay, they got way less loose skin. And they actually get like the weight off too because the calories are easy to drop. As soon as you're pissing around with diet, so here's the other problem. Most of the people, when you're pissing around with a bunch of meat, you're bringing fat with it every time. Okay, so now it's so hard to get the calories down on a diet that has a pile of protein. It's so hard. And if you're trying to yank the fat out of that protein to bring the calories down, because fat's 9 calories a gram, then all of a sudden now you got a pure protein diet, which is trash, constipation city, no energy city. That diet is stupid. All right. Fat people could go literally indefinitely with no intake. Fat people could go indefinitely like they're a camel with no intake. I keep bringing up the guy that got locked in the jail cell in 1979. He was a kid. And he was in there for 18 days, lost 57 pounds. So what would how much weight do you think somebody that's like 500 pounds would lose on 18 days? And do you think they'd even have an issue with 18 days? No. In fact, the hibernation mode can be easier than the water fasting, assuming activity is the same. Because water fasting can trigger a little bit of hunger. Hibernation mode don't. Just sit on your ass and let the body melt like Frosty the Snowman on the equator. And it's going to be just destroying loose skin. Okay, that's some... You can, like, I had so many people getting tighter loose skin back in the day when I could push this hardcore shit and just say the straight words. They were doing hibernation mode and they were getting rid of crazy amounts of loose skin. And then if I would have known better, I would have had them doing a crazy low protein diet to pair up with that hibernation mode. So they still would have been killing loose skin even when they were in their eating phase. You want to get rid of loose skin, you got to lose weight and cut protein. All right, what do we got here? Bodage Buds said, send Local Al to Fat Camp to replace Matt. Make sure you subscribe to Local Al's YouTube channel. What do we got here? Let's see. Carvin 2003 said I did 3, 4, and 5 day fasts, 1 small refeed in between, lost 85 pounds in 3 months with no loose skin. How's that for your testimonials? See, it's just gonna be nonstop. People are like, how do you know this works? Open your eyes, dummies. Like, I'm so tired of just I'm no different than you. I got the same access to everything you do. Problem is with you guys, you get caught in your stupid diet dogma and you just keep chasing those same algorithms and you don't look for anything. Like, how many of you in this last year looked up how many square feet of skin does a human have? How many of you looked up how much skin does a human gain when they get fat? Okay, how many of you looked up anything like that? Okay, how many of you have looked up things like how much water do you breathe out at night? Okay, how many of you have looked shit up like that? Okay, how many of you even, like, man, you don't look for anything. You're just lazy because you get caught up in your bullshit because you just listen to your talking heads and you have no imagination. Okay, go into hibernation mode and get your imagination back, you fat pig. It's like the premier dopamine fast, especially if you can cut the electronics out during it. All right, what do we got here? Okay, here's the thing. I don't need to sell this. This is older than sin. Okay, this is older than sin. Okay, even Jesus and Prophet Muhammad and whoever you're praying to, okay, they all did this. Okay, they all did hibernation mode. They all did crazy low protein diets. And they're all lean with no loose skin. All right. Mosh Bear Pig said sugar fasting coach was the best. See, when you're not either doing a straight snake juice, links will be in the comments, but when you're not doing like a snake juice water fast or you're not in hibernation mode, basically you are on a sugar diet. You're watching the calorie count, you're eating the healthy, you're eating the high volume, high water content sugar sources. Okay, fruit at the top, wet fruit. Okay, potatoes. Okay, no candy. Okay, no pop. Okay, no dense sugar sources. You're trying to lose weight. Why would you add in more calories? Okay, the reason some of those skinny vegans got to add in table sugar and shit is because they're already skinny and they can't eat enough of the low calorie sugar sources, so they got to add in dense calories. Okay, you're a fat pig. Okay, you're not a skinny cyclist that's got to add in sugar because he's losing too much weight. Stop comparing yourself to somebody that's already lean, fatty. You're fat. That lean person also can't go into hibernation mode for like 20 days. Okay, you fat pigs, you guys are such chicken shits, man. I've done 7 days at a lean body weight. You're not going to die. Okay, you fat asses go 20 days on that. You guys could go so long sitting there doing nothing. Come out of it and lose 100 pounds. Okay, I'm telling you, life-changing shit. And it's really a short window of time. Okay, if you're 300 pounds, man, you could you can go indefinitely until you literally run out of body fat. All right, let's see here. Comeback Protocol says, dirty, snoring, boring hibernation mode is the way, people. It's the way to living life. Let's see what else we have. Somebody said Moonwalker for Life said, can you see Matt sleeping, please? What? Okay, stop being a creep. Man. Okay, relax. Relax. Okay, relax. And okay, let's see what we got here. Carnivore Whale Mart Tomluk says Matt is a hostage now. He wants to go to the airport so bad. Stop worrying about Matt. Okay, stop crying. Okay, he's still alive. Still alive and well. All right, what do we got here? Comeback Protocol. Can you do alternate day hibernation mode for the next 90 days? Okay, so that's a good question. The problem is when you're not digging deep into it, all you're really doing, because it takes like the first, 36 to 48 hours to really get in that dry mode, because your body's got to use up all that exogenous fluid you've took it in. Okay, all that exogenous fluid and the food. And then when you're really deep in it, that's why you'll see that crazy drop, like a guy that's your size, Manny, like, you the first 2 days you could lose some crazy amount where you're seeing like a 10 pound drop, maybe a 10 pound drop first day and then a 7. And then what'll happen, it'll settle out to probably for you, it'd be like a 4 to 5 pound a day drop. Non-stop. It'll be a 4 to 5 pound a day drop, non-stop, no stalls. Non-stop, no stalls. Obviously no stalls. You're not taking nothing in. right, let's see here. No, I was bringing up the food pyramid because it got changed in the States. The food pyramid should look like this. Fruit, vegetables, all the low-calorie stuff in the bottom is the biggest chunk. And then you go up until it should be based on calorie. It should be based on caloric density. The food pyramid should be based on caloric density per weight. The highest calorie dense foods at the very top, where you shouldn't be eating hardly any of, and the lowest calorie dense foods at the bottom, which is going to be basically your carbohydrates, your wet carbohydrates. All right, let's see here. Chris Do 6890 said, just saw this pop up as soon as he said eggs, meat, bullshit, goodbye, see ya. Get out of here, man. It's all good. You'll learn. You'll learn. You'll learn. Okay, when you're talking about fat people, there's a best way to do things and there's half-assed things. Okay, once you get lean, go eat whatever the hell you want. Okay, when you're talking about rapid weight loss, like what people need that have like 100, 200, man, even people have 50 pounds to drop. Okay, if you want to lose weight fast, calories got to be low. How are you going to get the calories rock bottom on your meat and eggs? Can't do it. Okay, how are you going to chew up loose skin on your meat and eggs when your skin's made up of meat and eggs? Okay, you're giving yourself meat and eggs. You're not going to use the meat and eggs on your body. All right, like, man, do you think I don't like steak and eggs and all this stuff? If you're trying to tighten up loose skin, open your fucking ear. Open your ears. Okay, get out of your stupid dogma. Okay, get off your carnivore MD's wiener. Okay, get off of their wiener. All right, you're a carnivore MD scam artist. Okay, carnivore diet don't chew up loose skin, man. And it's not good for weight loss either. They sell it like it's an extreme weight loss diet. It's terrible. Stall City Nation, man. Stall City. Heart attack city. Especially when you're stalled at a heavy weight. Now you're just a fat pig eating tomahawks. Fat pig eating ribeye. Heart attack city. Sorry. All right. Let's see here. KJB 0001 said, question, the old food pyramid was 6 to 11 servings of grain a day. Isn't that a bit excessive, Cole? Like, I don't know about the servings. Okay, I just told you my food pyramid. The lowest calorie food density, the lowest calorie density foods at the bottom. Do you not understand that? That's what it should look like. That'd be your fruit and vegetables at the bottom. And then it would be like your dry carbs are going to be a step up, obviously, because they're not wet. And the dense shit is going to be at the top, the fatty meats and the oils. Let's see here. Kevin B. Bad, the loose skin is actually fat. He says it's protein, you idiot. Go look it up. Everybody always has some excuse to not do the thing that's going to work the best. Okay, everybody's got an excuse. Okay, like that, even the carnivore diet, man, it's a fat pig diet. Okay, it's just a fat pig. It's like it's a shitty diet. All right, if you're trying to get results, it's crap. It is crap. Okay, straight meat only diet is crap. Okay, I've never, ever, ever promoted a high protein meat only diet, ever. Anything I ever promoted that was low carb was crazy low protein. Why do you think I called it snake oil? Because it's basically oil. And it's not, it's just, that is a very, very strict protocol that really can be wiped right off the face of the earth, other than maybe for an epileptic or something like this. A very rare case. It can be wiped out with literally straight sugar, straight fruit. Both of them have next to no protein, and what are you going to rather eat? Are you going to rather eat fruit and potatoes or oil? Which one's going to make the calories lower and actually make you feel full? Fruit and potatoes or oil? Okay, let's see. Melissa online said, first day the scale didn't move. Not sure what you were doing. Day 13, 12 and a half pounds down. Nice job. I'm guessing you're just running the calories down on a low fat diet. Makers Folly said, listening to Cole talk about this makes me believe I can lose weight. The reason that a lot of people are starting to believe they can lose weight listening to me, because you realize what you don't need. You don't need fat and you don't need protein. You don't need any fat in your diet. You don't need any protein in your diet when you're a fat ass. You don't need any fat in your diet. You don't need any protein in your diet when you're a fat ass. Okay? Cutting the fat out of the diet at 9 calories a gram is going to make it very easy to put yourself in a caloric deficit to get the scale to drop. Cutting the protein out of the diet is going to chew up loose skin, because skin's protein. All your loose, excessive amounts of skin, you fat pig. All your tumors, all your polyps, all your all your uterus issues. Okay, your PCOS. Okay, your breast tumor, everything, man. You can chew it all up. Chew it all up instead of going under the knife, going under radiation, okay, getting chemo. You go into hibernation mode and you chew it all up. You keep the protein out of the diet and you stick to that plant-based diet with no protein, low fat, so you're in a deficit, still losing weight, you're going to chew it all up. Not even trying. Vana Blessed, hi Cole, 5'6", 199 pounds, down from 260. Nice job. Rolling 72-hour fast to avoid loose skin. Should I refeeds low protein or keto? Low protein, like low protein. Okay, I don't even need to talk about carbs and keto. Like the low calories, crazy low protein. So what's that leave you with? Okay, if you're trying to get the calories low, you're going to default to a low-fat diet. When you're trying to get the protein low, you're going to default to a plant-based diet. Low-fat plant-based diet. Low protein. Okay, don't even get caught up in the names. Cut the fat, cut the protein, get the calories down until you've gotten rid of all your loose skin gets tight and you've got rid of all your tumors. There's only one thing that truly feeds the C word. Eating too much calories, being in a surplus and gaining weight, and protein. You're not going to produce more of the C word without having protein in that diet. Now, if you're in a calorie surplus, imagine you're on a zero protein diet with a crazy high calorie count, which is only going to happen if you're eating dietary fat beside your sugar sources. Then you're going to be feeding the tumors that are already there enough to not go away, but they're not going to grow. Okay, you're just going to gain a pile of body fat, but you're not going to grow a bunch of tumors. You're not going to grow any solid structure without that protein. BRW 1973, what if you're taking blood pressure medication? Well, if you start doing this, blood pressure drops through the floor, cut it. Like, man, any questions outside of what I'm saying is just you being afraid. I can't make this any more clear. Hibernation mode means shut your fucking mouth, pig. Don't put nothing in it. And when you do eat, get the calories through the floor, which is going to default you to a low-fat diet. And if you want to chew up loose skin, get the protein through the floor. Because skin's made out of protein. Loose skin, all your excess skin's made out of protein. You think you're not going to use that skin up just because it's in the form of skin as a protein source? You think you're not going to use it up when you're yanking the protein out of that diet? When you're super fat and you got a pile of excess skin? Of course you are. Okay, like I said, Facts Actual said this. I'm just catching up on these comments. I'm new. Where exactly do I find the hibernation mode explained/defined? Okay, it's DF. It's D-fasting. That's what it is. It's pretty simple to do. It's a hibernation. You just don't eat. Okay, you don't consume anything. And you don't do anything. You try to keep your activity to a minimum. That is it. That is it. That's why I love this shit. That's why I love this shit. Like, how can you screw that up? If I told Forrest Gump, hey Gump, we're hibernating. What's that mean, Lieutenant Dan? You don't eat or drink anything. Okay, Lieutenant Dan. Man. Mimi, what? Triple M Leftover says, does it have to be zero fat? Well, you're trying to get the calories as low as you can get them? Okay, it's a calorie game. Fat's 9 calories a gram. Are you going to be able to pull the calories lower and the fat's not in the diet? Obviously. Are you a fat ass to try to lose weight? Okay, like, man, all that matters is the calorie count to lose the weight. The calorie count being low is going to be directly proportional to losing the body fat. The protein being rock bottom is going to make your body chew on loose skin. Okay, if you're not fat enough to be dealing with loose skin, then you could just ignore everything I'm saying. Okay, I'm in the business of helping fat asses. See, this is here like this. Like, Zach H426 says 12 grams of fat is fine. Like, where'd you get that number? Where did you pull that number out of your ass? What's 12 grams of fat? What's that? Where did that even come from? Okay, you know it's fine when you're trying to lose weight? The lowest calorie count possible. And you want the fat at 9 calories a gram to be 0. 0. Okay, like imagine somebody was literally just breaking the line. Imagine it was a woman that was holding her body weight at on 1,000 a day. On 1,000, she wasn't losing weight on 1,000 because she's just very small. And you went and told her, yeah, add 12 grams of fat to that 1,000. Now she'd be gaining weight on that. You don't just arbitrarily tell people to add calories to their diet because they will gain weight. Oh, you need this many grams of fat. You need this many grams of protein. Don't eat shit. Okay, I'm sitting here talking about hibernation mode where you're not ingesting anything. And then as soon as you start talking about the diet, all of a sudden, all the Mickey Mouse experts come in and give their 2 cents on what you need for macros. Man, the most aggressive is not putting nothing in your mouth, fat ass. Like, this is it. This is all I'm going to be talking about from here on out. Somebody asked, are super chats disabled? I can't monetize this channel yet. Maybe at the end of the month it'll let me. I'm not sure. And like I say, Facts Actual said, I agree. Physically, this is easy. Psychologically, it is the true battle. Like, physically, for a fat person to not put nothing in their mouth, nothing, including water, is not hard. It is not hard. You aren't going to feel any real hunger pain until you are lean. I'm talking even people that have 20 pounds to dump. You're not going to feel shit until you get down to where you're getting lean, let alone 100 pounds or 200 pounds or 300 pounds to lose. Man. Gregory Keller, Cariola 7286 says, Cole is the best coach on the planet. I love everything he talks about. So much knowledge about health. Thank you very much. Tyler Chernesky said, where do we send money to support? Right now, if you want to make a donation, okay, you can support me by getting some snake juice salt. I'll throw my PayPal email in the comments on this video. If you want to make a donation, thank you very much. Or, you know, get some snake juice, but a lot of people, if you can't get it where you're living, then, you know, you can't get it. Or if you want to just message me privately, and I could send you my PayPal email, and then you could even ask me a question. Okay, I still do phone consults for donations. Okay, here's a good testimony. Martinez Code said, lost 80 pounds last year following Cole's low-fat diet from June till November. 310 pounds down to 230 pounds, 5'6" male. Nice job. Still got a ways to go, but good work. Here's a good question. See, if anything comes of this, like the whole thing, fat camp, anything, you know, there's always risk. You know, there's always risk. But I'll tell you, it led me to pushing this stuff again. Okay? Because when you're coaching somebody that's 6'5", 600 pounds, you can really see where you can, how far you can push that envelope. Okay? So, you know, when I take those risks and have people come live with me that, you know, you see what you can get. It makes you a better coach, right? So this guy said, Cole, you should open USA version of a Russian DF. Okay, I thought of that. Okay, hibernation mode city. People just come in there and like that'd be the perfect camp. Okay, you don't have to. There's nothing to supply. Maybe throw people on the fruit for a couple days to clean the pipes out and bang, get right into it. Crazy weight loss. Some of the shit that would come out of there, you know, you might have the odd death. You know, get them to sign a waiver. But most fat people, like I say, you have nothing to worry about. People that, now, I might not even allow people to come in there that are coming in there that aren't fat to beat some other issue. You know, I might even would just make it straight weight loss. So you have to be fat. So that covers my ass because I know fat people could basically go into hibernation mode for a month. Okay, it's when it gets dangerous when you got people go to some of these water fasting retreats and like filling off, you know, these hibernation retreats, and they're not even overweight to beat like stage 4 C word. Okay, that's high risk shit. Like that, you could die, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? But if it's just fat people, shit. And then the worst case scenario, you know, you got a nurse in there checking the blood pressure, checking the heart rate, and you're just doing it often and you're good. You're good. Okay, there'd be no issues. And if something happens where they have stones in the gallbladder or something, I guess you'd have to break the hibernation fast and you'd have to like maybe smack in, like deal with that. Okay, like if because you know how many fat people have gallstones sitting right in their gallbladder right now and don't even know it because all the fat they ate, because they got fat. That's why they won't stop eating. They won't stop eating. First thing you do, if you feel like you got a gallstone issue, first thing you would ever do, the first time you get an attack, you stop eating. If you're not willing to do that, you're being a bitch. You stop eating, period. Okay, I've talked about this shit in the past so many times. Okay, and then what you do is you start a fast, getting in a pile of apple cider vinegar, water, salt. But the first hint of an issue, you stop eating and deal with it. You don't keep dragging it along, because then you'll end up in a situation where you got to get your gallbladder chopped out. People will have multiple gallbladder attacks before they end up having to get a gallbladder surgery, and then the signs are there 100 miles away. Or you even go in, if you think you have an issue or there's an attack, you go in, get a scan done. If they show that there's some stones in there, you get on that fast, you break them stones up with that liver protocol, and you kick them out. You stop eating, you fat pig. You stop eating. All right, let's see here. That's all I'm going to be pushing now is hibernation mode. That's it. It'll be hibernation mode, coming off it with wet carbohydrates. No protein. That's it. That's it. That's what the fat people need to hear. That's what's going to get the crazy results. Path to Wellness, okay, 1979. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Okay, he's a lean dude. He's eating a very low protein diet. Okay, he has a little bit of fat in his diet because he's so lean he's going to make up the calories. Okay, and he says, and it's crazy how much protein is pushed in the mainstream. Yeah, exactly. You know how they started selling all these protein subs? It was literally a byproduct of making, like it was whey protein coming off all the dairy products they were making. And then they started selling it. They used to chuck it. Like, so it's just a scam. Huge scam. You know, huge scam. Okay, even the whole idea of telling people to just try to do everything you can to put on another 5 pounds of muscle. It's just the whole attitude behind that's a scam. Okay, I'm trying to drop some muscle mass on my legs right now. Okay, to get them shrunk. Get faster in the pool, more athletic. Okay, Infinite M888 said, Cole, what's your PayPal? I will send you some bucks. It is, am I able to type it in here? Let's see. No, I don't think I can. It won't let me. Let's see here. Okay, I'll say it. It's Pumpkin Controls. Pumpkin Control. So PUMPKINCONTROLS. So Pumpkin Controls. There was an old name. I was going to start an instrumentation business. I was going to call it that. Pumpkin Controls at hotmail.com. Pumpkin Controls at hotmail.com. Facts Actual said, hibernation mode is muscle sparing, HGH. Yeah, your growth hormone cranks through the roof. There's no doubt about that. Okay, but you don't need to worry about even having muscle sparing. Like, don't worry about any of it. Don't even worry about it. Okay, just get slim. Chew on the skin, baby. Chew on that skin of that low protein diet. Hibernation mode, water fasting would be next level. If we had a pyramid of the most hardcore, hibernation mode at the top. Water fasting after that. Okay, then just low calorie dieting. Okay, cutting the protein right up for the skin removal. All right, which hibernation mode does that. All the fasting protocols do that. That's why you ever hear people when their skin's just getting tighter from the fasting. The main reason is because there's no protein being ingested. So you can simulate that with a zero protein diet when you're eating like fruit and starch. And then when you get lean, like, for example, like Path to Wellness. Check out his YouTube channel. Okay, then he's getting in like what? Like, what's his protein count? Like 60? It's low. Okay, you can go very low in that protein. When you're at maintenance and you're at caloric maintenance, the protein can be rock bottom. And you're going to be nice and slim. And your skin will be tight. Here's actually a good comment. Mosh Bear Pig said, the 5-bite diet is the best. It's pulling calories to the max. That's what it is. That's why I got results, and you can't even talk about that either. Yeah, see, Mimi Leftovers said protein candy, protein pancakes, protein everywhere. Yeah, exactly. It's a bunch of bullshit. And I'm not demonizing protein. I'm just saying it's grossly excess, and fat pigs don't need to eat any of it. They don't need to eat fat or protein. None of it. They don't need to eat anything. And when they are eating something, they're eating wet fruit, wet starch. Clean the pipes, get back into hibernation mode or a water fast. Hibernation mode being ideal, most fastest weight loss you can possibly yield in the shortest period of time. This is another good comment. Melissa Online says protein destroys your kidneys. I have CKD and I'm enjoying a low protein 500 cal PO med. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, you can feel it when the protein's high. Like I've done it where I smash back so much meat, you can almost feel your kidneys getting hot. And also, I'll tell you this. I've done other things I don't talk about anymore to test. There's things you can taste, all right, that come out of your body. And when you eat a high amount of protein, that thing that you taste tastes just wrong. It tastes just wrong. Like the urea is so high. And it's not, there's something wrong with that. Okay, that's another reason like why I always ran a low protein diet. After I started to learn more, like that's and also, how do you think Kempner was reversing kidney disease? Okay, Kempner was reversing kidney disease with rice, fruit, and orange juice, low cal, no protein other than what was ever in the rice, and even that he would minimize. He would even minimize the rice if it was a kidney disease patient. And you know why? Okay, high blood sugars as well. High blood sugars will cause kidney problems, but high blood sugars aren't caused from zero fat, zero low protein, high carb diet. Okay, they're caused by high fat. They're caused by too many calories. They're caused by insulin resistance. They're caused by bad glucose tolerance. The very thing to fix that is you cut the fat out of the diet. It's counterintuitive. But this is where humans are idiots. They think, oh, well, I have high blood sugar, so I cut the sugar. No, man. You're not solving shit. Yeah, I cut the sugar. Yeah, so now you got kidney issues from protein and having chronic high blood sugars because you're fat pig, you eat too much fat. And now you're going to cut the carbs out and you're still going to keep the protein cranked up. Yeah, that's going to help your kidneys. Nope. And these stupid carnivore MDs will always bring that up. And they'll say, well, if your kidneys aren't damaged, it's okay. Well, if protein's low, you're good. But that just goes to show if your kidneys are damaged, the protein is a problem. So how can the protein be the best thing when your kidneys aren't damaged as well? That's why you just chase results. Results. To get the fastest weight loss, you're cutting everything out to get your health back the fastest. You're cutting everything out. Okay, and when you do eat, you're eating you're cutting the fat out and you're eating a low protein diet. And ideally, you cut the protein right out when you're fatter than hell and have a pile of loose skin. The steaks are on you, fatty. You know that loose skin? That skin? There's your ribeyes, fatty. Hey, there's your tomahawks, fatty. Okay, get rid of that loose skin. So then guys like Buffalo Bill don't come and hunt you down and make a coat out of you, you fat pig. Okay, KJB 0001, put up my PayPal. Thank you very much. pumpkincontrols@hotmail.com. My conspiracy said you're the best coach. Thanks. This is a bathroom fan said, get that skin in ya. Exactly. Get that skin in ya. All right, let's see here. Facts Actual said doing 48-hour fast now. In 2 weeks going 7 to 10 days, 5 to 7 days dry. Nice. Ah, man. Doing it for fun. Said fatty liver, no protein. Oh, yeah, like fatty liver is caused by you being a fat-ass pig. Fatty liver, you ever notice how it's called fatty liver? Because you eat too much calories because the fat's too high. You guys understand that you'd never eaten a calorie surplus where you would have got fat if you don't have a bunch of fat in your diet. You understand that? Say if the day, if you were never fat, ever, and you were eating a low-fat diet, you would have never gotten fat. You would never get fat, and you'd never have a fatty liver. You'd never have fatty liver issues. And that's what's causing your blood sugar control problems. Stop eating, fatty. Stop drinking water, fatty. Go into hibernation mode, fatty. John Shaw, 3285, says, I did 5-day DF 6 times in 2 months span, spaced out to hit 8%. Once I was totally shredded, I cut it down to 2 days in a row once a week for life to stay shredded. Okay, the thing is as well, too, you don't got to do any of that. You don't have to do any of those rolling fasts. Okay, to stay shredded, you just keep the calories down on a day-to-day. You don't have to, your diet is a little bit lazy if you got to throw in a 2-day, a 2-day DF once a week. Okay, where all you would have to do is just make sure the fat's low and you're never going to gain any weight back, and make sure the protein is low. Make sure your carbohydrates are high water content carbohydrates. Matthew Polishing 7294 said, how long should I fast if I'm overweight? Forever. Till you're not overweight. Ideally, till you're not overweight. Forever. Let's see here. Masha Nabi said, advice for people with OCD? Well, the first rule of getting rid of OCD is stop telling yourself you have OCD. Shut up, all right? And also trying to lose weight. Okay, go into hibernation mode. Your OCD will be gone in 2 seconds, which is bullshit. Okay, yeah, you guys go to too many dumbass doctors that try to, as soon as you can put a label on something, you can sell somebody a drug. It's like, oh, you have OCD. Here's your OCD drugs. Oh, you have attention deficit disorder. Here's your attention deficit disorder drugs for your kid. As soon as they can put a label on it, they can sell you shit. All right? Okay, are you starting that carnivore diet? Here's your carnivore diet supplies. Here's your brisket, your tomahawks, and all your bullshit. Okay, here's all your shit. Okay, as soon as you can put a name to it, okay, you can sell people a pile of shit. Here's your blood ketone meter. Okay? Sadly, you got to put names to shit to try to get it out there to get the algorithm going, like hibernation mode starting to grab. All right. That Future Corrupt TX. Are pickles good to break hibernation mode? Couple pickles is okay. Okay, they're going to go through you. They're not going to plug you up. Okay, have it stick to the wet fruit. You don't have to go cranking the sodium through the roof. That's why I say, even on a straight water fast, maybe 1 to 2 snake juice packs a day, maybe 3 if you're trying to really push some heat work and stuff like that. And that would put your sodium like at 3 grand. But really, the daily recommended numbers are pretty good. But in hibernation mode, you're not taking in anything. But that's why I keep telling you, when bears hibernate, are they doing heat work? Are they going to the gym pumping iron? Are they doing anything? No, they're just laying there, right? You're safe as long as you're just laying there. You're not going to get lightheaded or nothing. You just lay there and you just relax. You can go out, and the lighter you are, the more you could go out, but you don't have to force walks and shit either. Like, you're going to be losing weight so fast. Okay, you don't do more when you're doing that. Like, you're going to get the crazy weight loss just doing it. What you're going to do by doing a bunch of exercise, you're going to break early is what you're going to do. You're going to screw yourself up of many more days in a row. You're going to screw yourself over with many more days in a row because you had to go do a stupid-ass walk to try to burn an extra 200 calories, which just basically screwed you out of burning 6,000 calories, combined with the water the metabolic water from the fat you're trying to make up every day for 3 more days. Now you had to break early because you had to go for your stupid walk. But going for if you had to walk somewhere because you just had to, fine. But forcing any cardio is stupid. Okay, I'm telling you a way to drop weight like crazy, laying on the couch and watching golf. Like literally, you could lay there and watch golf and do that for 20 days and lose 100 pounds, you fat pig. Let's see here. Okay, bathroom fan said protein of the, let's say oran instead of the word he used, tastes weird according to Cole. What I said was it gives you feedback on your diet. If you're eating a pile of protein, your orine tastes very high in your urea, which isn't good. It's like acidic. It's like your kidneys are working. Soon as you cut that lower, you don't have that no more. So that's where two ways I didn't have that was on a low protein diet, whether it was high carb or a 4-to-1 keto diet where I was eating crazy low protein, high fat. The urea, it was way lower. The protein was causing the problem. Your kidneys work harder when you're eating a high protein diet. You want to hear something I'm going to tell you guys? You look up anybody who's like old, like people that are over 100, they're all eating low protein diets. I see like that old Richard Overton. I remember that guy. He was eating like a little bit of fish, and then he's eating just lots of soup. Okay, obviously his calories were low enough on the day that he was lean, but he was eating a very low protein diet. He was eating a little bit of ice cream, but obviously he wasn't going over on the calories, even though there's fat in the ice cream. Okay, but the protein was very low. Okay, like even obviously it'd be very hard to drag the calories through the floor on an ice cream diet. All right, but the protein is very low. So if the calories are low and the protein's low, that's what you're trying to chase here. Low cal, low protein for maximum weight loss, maximum loose skin removal. So obviously that's where ice cream is going to be hard to get the calories low because you're just going to want to eat a pile of it because it's still got a lot of fat in it. That's why the calories are so high. Now that sugar-based ice cream, the calories aren't as high. Where there's sugar in regular ice cream too, but there's a pile of fat. Masha Nobby says, mental health advice. This is probably going to zap this video, but I'll say it. Hibernation mode, DF, is an excellent alternative to the S word, where like people jump off the bridge. Okay, if you're in a bad state, go into hibernation mode. And what'll happen is you'll build gratitude, especially if you do it in complete silence. If you get rid of that stupid cell phone. Okay, that cell phone addiction is some serious shit. Okay, that'd be one thing as well. I'd way rather see people like watch shows or something like this than be scrolling on that cell phone. Okay, that cell phone causes a lot of it causes like the most mental health problems. Okay, it's the comparison and seeing all the bullshit and the nudity on there and the corn and that cell phone's the worst. If I took a cell phone away from a fat person, they'd lose 100 pounds within 6 months just not having a cell phone. That's how bad that cell phone is. It's always on them, always. You never see them without it on them. Okay? They got to always be scrolling and looking. So you got to get that under control. Okay, what do we got here? Johnny 3608 says 200 pounds right now. Hibernate for how long to get down to 180? Till you get down to 180. Till you get down to 180. How long would it take? Seriously? To go from 200 pounds to an honest to God 180? You'd probably be with the rebound. You'd probably be shooting for a little under 180. 7 days. 7 days. I lost 25 with maybe a 5-pound rebound on a 7-day when I was in hibernation mode for 7 days. And that's hard dry. Now, if you did have a shower, you do it fast. You don't want your body to suck up fluid because your body's amazing at pulling fluid out of nowhere when you're trying to make it pull the fluid from burning the body fat. Let's see here. Okay, Rob Bar Banoff, WD3F says bodybuilders will gain from cutting back and cycling protein instead of cycling carbs. So first thing, who gives a shit about bodybuilders? Okay, it's a weight loss channel. This is a large amount of weight loss channel. Okay, so like that's something I'm not entertaining anymore. Natural bodybuilders, who gives a shit? Okay, fat people need to cut everything. Everything. Okay, like a bodybuilder's not going to worry about going into hibernation mode until they do develop tumors and shit down the road. Not natural bodybuilders are a lot lower risk compared to a juiced up bodybuilder. But these people are all trying to chase their health and get it back once they're done these stupid sports. It's not even a sport. I still like looking at the odd bodybuilding content. But it's just honestly, it's just a toxic environment. And plus, there's ways to train that's way better for your body than, I'm not going to lie to you guys, like pumping iron beats the shit out of you. Okay, heavy loads on the hips and knees beats the shit out of you. It's not going to help your longevity. It's not. Okay, there's way better ways to train. Body weight calisthenics is way better than pumping iron. It's way better for the joints. You're going to be lighter because it promotes weight loss. You're not going to be trying to bulk and chase numbers in the gym. It's just better. Very few people that train like bodybuilding style training are living till 100 years old. Okay, they're getting fat way before that because their joints are all wore out. All this rep work. That's why if you are lifting weights, I'm a big believer in low volume training. But who cares? It's not even part of the conversation anymore. There's nothing worse than when people get a hold of me and it's like they got body dysmorphia and they literally are 10% body fat and they're trying to get to 6. It's like, what am I going to tell you? I'm just going to tell you from now on you got body dysmorphia. Shut the hell up and live your life, you idiot. Matthew Polishing 7294 Cole says, Cole, your skin looks healthy. That's because I am healthy. Because I've done a lot of hibernation mode. It's funny when you do hibernation mode too, you like literally get your skin just flattens out and everything. You just look better immediately. Okay, now Abe2361 says, what about salting during the day? How much electrolytes to eat when refeeding? If you're worried about salt during the day, then don't worry about even going into hibernation mode. Okay, do a snake juice water fast. All right? Hibernation mode's exactly what I said. You're not doing a bunch of activity. You're not putting nothing in your mouth. And that's going to get you like three times the fat loss. 3 times. Like water fasting versus DF, you're losing weight like literally 3 times as fast. 2 to 3 times, maybe even 4 times as fast. Okay, that's how fast you're losing it. Because your body uses that much body fat to make up the water. Every gallon of water you drink is going to come right off your body fat stores if you're not drinking that gallon of water. All right, let's see. Okay, I recommend you guys, if you're curious about even doing this, just start. Okay, go straight. If you're worried about that you have some bad crap in your colon, do like straight fruit for a couple days. Potatoes, fruit. Okay, run the calories through the floor. Maybe still stick to your meal a day so you keep the calories way low. And then make sure, you're eliminating like clean looking food. So that'll take probably 2 days on the fruit. And then just jump right into hibernation mode. Go as long as you can. You're not going to die. Mike Dell 5546 says wet fruit. How much on refeed day? How much water? As little as possible. As little as possible. It's always as little as possible. Anytime somebody asks me how much food, as little as possible. In fact, I know like Lockman, like Lauren Lockman, if you can't even find any of his stuff anymore, they do a lot of water fasting at their retreat in Costa Rica. Charge an arm and a leg for it. But they'll break it on usually watermelon, and they won't let you just pound back watermelon when you come off that fast. Especially the longer the fast. Because especially if the person's slim. If the person's slim, it's a little bit different than when a person's fat as well. Because then you actually have a risk of refeeding syndrome when you're actually lean, like skin and bone after you did a 21-day water fast. You know, going into the water fast at like some relatively decent body fat percentage. But it's small amounts of watermelon for a few days in a row. Like, they don't just hammer it in. All right, what else do we got here? Okay, my Robo Life says, when I fast, my weight just gets stuck. I don't pee and I don't lose, even when I go for days. Hibernation mode ain't sticking. Okay, you understand it's impossible not to make that scale drop when you're not ingesting anything. Okay, no food, no water. It's impossible. Scale will just drop. Every hour you weigh yourself, you'll be lighter. Mikey 77766 Cali Muscle blamed fruit for a second heart attack. Yeah, he's on crack. Solid drug abuse. The best thing he did was that like crazy amounts of days in a row on the watermelon and such. Best thing he did. Yeah, he doesn't know any. Like, that just proves that he doesn't really know anything about any of this. But he is doing some water fasting now, which is good. Let's see here. Yeah, somebody put my PayPal email up there. pumpkincontrols@hotmail.com if you want to make a donation. Since I can't take donations here. Yeah, exactly. KJB 00001 says, think of all those fruit-eating Costa Ricans who are about to have heart attacks. And then it's a laughing emoji. Yeah, because it's bullshit. Right? Like, people are stupid. And it's not that they're stupid. They're just so fearful. And they're so caught up in some stupid religion with diet that they just throw all logic out the window and they're running on pure emotion. Okay? Just pure emotion. Have no emotional control. Okay? You know, even when people blame emotional eating. No, you have no emotional control at all. Work on it. Work on it. Because there's no gratitude for anything. There's a lot of it too. You have no gratitude for shit. Happy Dog 7862 says, not diet related. Any advice how to get in the mood to do house chores? I hate house chores and always find something better to do. Well, for starters, what's making you procrastinate? Maybe shut your phone off. I'll tell you what'll make you do them real quick. Okay, you want me to give you advice to make you do them really quick? Shut off all the electronics and stare at the wall. Stare at that wall with no music, no nothing, until you're ready to do the house chores. I guarantee you, if you stare at that wall long enough, you're going to be like, screw staring at this wall. I'm going to go do house chores. Okay, get quiet. Get bored. Chase boredom. And then you're going to go do shit. Okay, get rid of all your stupid stimulus. Okay, most of these fat pigs are way overstimulated. That's why they have no ambition. Manny06V9C says, is Matt still there or has he gone with his sister? He's still here. He's doing his dry fast right now. It's in hibernation mode. Accidentally said it there. All right. Barstool Story says, what about people over 50 years old? I don't seem to lose weight as fast as most of the testimonials I'm seeing. Okay, well, I don't know the whole story. Okay, I don't know the whole story. What's your body even look like? You're not gonna have the same weight loss results if you're a woman that's 5'4" versus a guy that's 5'10" or 6 feet tall, for one. So there's that. Okay, and then their day might look completely different than yours. Okay, and you know, there's a million things. There's no magic. If you literally had the equivalent muscle mass and body weight as somebody else and you're eating the same calorie count, you're pretty much going to get the exact same weight loss result, assuming the activity output was the same. There's just no magic. They're doing something you're not doing. Okay, like people, there is no stalls when you're in hibernation mode. There's no stall. Can't people get this through their head? Like, you're not ingesting anything. The scale just goes down. There's no hang up, no nothing. It just goes down. Madagirl 5893 said, I'm 4'10" fat ass female, 207 pounds. If I go into hibernation mode 5 days a week, how much will it take to lose 50 pounds at that time? On average, I mean, and how do I pay you? Okay, so first off, if you want to get coaching from me, get a hold of me at Cole Robinson on Facebook or Snake Diet Wizard on Instagram. And I can't put a time on it, okay? See, again, don't have that attitude where it's like, how many days to do this if I do this? Maybe just start doing it. Okay, maybe get a trend. Okay, even when we started cutting weight with Matt, do you think I knew exactly what the weight log was going to look like? But now you do. You see the weight log and you can see the trend. Okay, start the weight trend. Get your ass on the scale. Okay, if you're 4'10", you could probably literally be 90 pounds. You probably got like 120 pounds to drop. Literally, you have 120 pounds to lose, probably at 4'10". Okay, get a hold of me. Okay, 4'10" fat girl 207. Okay, that'd be a wicked testimonial. Okay, get a hold of me. I'll coach your fat ass. We'll get you shredded. So you're not just a butterball. All right. Oh, what else do we got here? All right, let's see. There's a repeat one. Again, like I said, how to refeed coming off a 5 days in hibernation mode. Wet fruit. Okay, and then not just that, wet fruit, and then going back into hibernation mode after a few days and do it again. Okay, like get the weight off. That's how you're gonna get weight off the fastest. Okay, cut the protein, cut the fat, high water content carbohydrates. Okay, plant-based, low fat, zero fat, crazy low protein, plant-based, high water content. Keep an eye on the calories still, because I'm not sure what carbs you're eating. You might be a little high on certain carbs. Potatoes are king. Wet fruit. let's see here. Comeback Protocol says, I think you should definitely do a full fat camp in Canada for sure. I'd help once I'm slim. I'm just taking it day by day, like I'm saying. I'm just seeing where this goes. This is the best. This is by far the best advice I've ever given because my focus has gotten tight again with the fat asses. Okay, so there's not a bunch of convoluted shit with the bodybuilding culture and the meathead culture. It's straight up weight loss and skin loss. Okay, loose skin removal and crazy fast weight loss, baby. That's what I'm all about. I'm the authority in insane fast weight loss and getting rid of as much loose skin as humanly possible. Maker's Folly said, Cole, you are the only person in the health and fitness field who has ever made me believe you actually care about us. Well, thank you very much. Means a lot. Yeah, I tried. Yeah, so if you want to support me as well, the packets, snake juice packets. If you can't get them where you're at, if you're doing if you're mixing up some snake juice to get your salts in because you're running the calories through the floor. Anytime you run the calories through the floor, you're gonna have to get some snake juice salts in. All right, we're talking a liter of water, teaspoon of sodium, teaspoon of potassium on the day. You know, half of that, obviously fresh water on the side. And this is going to allow you to be active, right, during a massive deficit on the calories. It's not like hibernation mode where you can't be active. Hibernation mode is going to lose weight faster. Sitting doing nothing in hibernation mode, you will lose weight faster than being active and even doing like the most hardcore stuff you can do when you're still taking in water with like, you know, even with a 500 calorie a day routine. A lot of water with a 500 calorie day routine with high activity will not pull as much body fat off you as hibernation mode. Hibernation mode is the fastest way you can cut body fat. Because as soon as you pull the water out of that diet, you just burn so much body fat. Even when the calories are rock bottom, because there's still a lot of water in the diet, the water is that big of a deal. If you want to get crazy pounds off, and you're, especially, man, if you're really fat, if I was really fat, the first thing I do is just, I'm going into hibernation mode until I've lost a crazy amount of weight. Hibernation mode's a good way to get off like stems like caffeine. Beeper 1963 said, should I quit caffeine before starting hibernation mode? Well, yeah, you can't have it during it. Okay, this is the thing. Some of you guys could have some serious headaches, but I'll tell you, you'll feel, you could have a bad headache the first, the next night, the second night, but then when you wake up after you're deep into it, it'll be gone. This is how you get people off hard drugs like right now. Or if somebody's on like SSRIs or benzos, you know, if they have, as long as they got, maybe have somebody with you, if you think they're going to go nuts if you've been on them for years, you just go straight into hibernation mode. You get off them in 2 seconds. 3-day hibernation, 4-day hibernation, you get off all that crap. That's what they need to do with people. Like just medieval shit. Just throw them in a cage. No water, no nothing until they beat all of it, which is what they used to do. That's what they would do with like some of these nut jobs. They just throw them in there until they were fine. You know what was happening? They were getting into a crazy deep state of ketosis because they're in hibernation mode. All right, let's see. So you guys understand, I keep saying this, like, all the bullshit. My metabolism, my this, my that. When you're in hibernation mode, if you just kept going, you will keep losing weight. It will not stop. I don't give a shit who you are. You will just drop. Okay, it'll just drop. I don't care about what excuses you got. I don't care about what you think about your metabolism. It will just drop like a waterbed that's sprung a little leak. Okay, you're the waterbed and you're just leaking out water. It's never gonna stall. It just keep dropping. Stephen Pagano, 6630 said, "How do 2 packs of snake juice in a gallon of water and refeed every 48 hours? Strictly meat, venison, and lamb. Like, man, if you're getting weight off, you're getting weight off. You're running a deficit on the week, right? That's what you're doing there. You're running a deficit on the week. Okay, but like what you're doing there, you're doing like you're running the calories down, but you got this crazy high protein diet. The bowel movements are going to be bad. Your body's not going to be chewing on loose skin like when you knock that protein out. Like what you're doing, the sustainability is not good. You know, you've lost a bunch of weight. That's good, but the sustainability is not good. And plus, I'm guessing you might even be eating in a surplus on those days you are eating and you're relying on the fasting. You should never be relying on the fasting to get weight off. That's just a speed up tactic. That's a mode to do it really fast. If you weren't doing any fasting, you should be losing weight on a day-to-day diet, which means the calories on the day-to-day got to be low enough to put you in a deficit so you get a drop, so you're seeing a drop on the scale. If you can't do that, you're never going to sustain what you're doing. You're just yo-yo dieting. All right? You need to get in a day-to-day where you're eating every day and able to run the calories down. How are you going to do that? Okay, high volume carbs. Cut the fat right out of that diet. Okay, cut the meat right out of that diet until you're lean, and then incorporate some lean protein back in. That's going to keep the calories as low as you can get them. King Tally said, 1985 said, Cole Kelly muscles doing it, eating boiled eggs only diet for a week straight. Yeah, it's stupid. I haven't seen that. If he's, man, this is the thing. He got sucked in by some dumbasses because now he's watching all the low carb shit, trying to say that your triglycerides somehow are going to be off the charts if you're eating a fruit based diet. It's BS. It's BS. If you're eating fruit and tubers, it ain't happening. Okay, straight potatoes, then there's not even an issue. Okay, it's if you're running the calories through the roof with a bunch of pop and candy and crazy amounts of calorically dense sugar sources, then something else could happen. But it's just BS. It's BS. And that's what he's watching now. He's watching all the stupid keto jackasses when he should just be doing that clean diet. There's only one real diet that's gonna remove blood clots. And that is a low fat, low calorie, you want to be in a deficit, plant-based diet. That's the diet to get rid of the blood clots. Okay, that's the actual diet to reverse blood clot issues. Okay, it's just dumb shit. Why would you do that? It's dumb shit. Eggs for a week, just plugged up, farting, stinking like shit. Okay, dying for some carbohydrate. Have fun. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, here's one. Eric Beal 7675 said, back when I was 300 pounds, I found your channel and lost 130 pounds in about a year. Have held steady at 170 for 4 years. Nice job, man. Awesome job. Awesome job. And like most fat people, I'm not going to lie to you, you got to want it. Okay, you got to want it. Okay, if you don't want to lose weight, you ain't going to lose shit. And if you do lose weight and you don't want it, you're going to gain it all back. This guy wanted it. Kyle in the Cloud, 415, said, everyone talks crap, but I've been following Cole's advice with the Subway thing. And since I started, I've gone from 270 to 208. Yeah, eating the low-fat Subway subs, exactly. Like, if you got the money to go to Subway every night, man, you're going to get weight off doing that. And it's going to be high adherence. It's going to take longer, okay? It's going to take longer, but you're going to get weight off doing that because the calories are just low. 270 to 208 as of this morning. He knows what he's talking about. The issue is you. Exactly. Good comment. Okay, and like I said, if you want to donate, somebody posted my PayPal email. If you could post it again, pumpkincontrols@hotmail.com. If you're looking for coaching, Cole Robinson on Facebook, Snake Diet Wizard on Instagram. Okay, I'm not making no money on this YouTube channel. Still got to pay some bills. Then the snake juice salts, electrolytes, snake juice electrolytes. All right, so the snake juice electrolyte packets have, so per one packet, you're looking at approximately 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 1,300 milligram potassium. All right, there's some sodium bicarbonate, small amount that makes up some of the sodium, pink Himalayan salt, and then there's a little bit of boron and a little bit of magnesium. Yeah, this one's an old box here. Okay, and I'll tell you something right now. My snake juice packs are cheaper than your Element scam packs. Your Element scam packs, and the Element packs literally are straight McDonald's salt packets. McDonald's salt packets. There's no potassium in those Element packets. None. None. All those Element packets are is straight sodium. And they're selling it for more than I sell the snake juice for. There's no potassium in it. It's insane. It's insane. I believe they're like 1,000 sodium and 200 milligrams of potassium in a packet. It's crazy. It's completely the wrong ratio. Okay, even the daily recommended, the potassium is 4,700, the sodium is like 2,300. Scam. Okay, so how much can you trust your carnivore MDs for that? Scamming you on those Element packets with their stupid, their multi-level marketing scam. Just had to throw that out there. I did a whole video back in the day about the scam. And plus, there was even a little bit of sugar in those Element packets, which was funny because everyone's so sugar phobic in the zero carb community. There was it was very little, but it was still some there that somebody found out. What a ripoff. No potassium at all in those Element packets. It's a joke. And you guys are paying like literally $10 more for a box than I'm selling the snake juice packs for. Who do you think they copycatted? I was the original guy. I was the guy. I was the electrolyte salt guy. And it started because pushing the long water fast on the salts was way easier than doing a water fast with no salt. Water fast with no salt would get pretty dangerous. Unless you're like sitting there doing nothing. But then you're flushing on the water. You're flushing where when you're in hibernation mode, you're burning way more body fat than you are in a water fast, and you're not flushing out those electrolytes as quick when you preload on them going into the fast. Hibernation mode's what gets the big pounds, baby. Water fasting would be second with the salts. Alec Jackson 746 said, Dr. McDougall has nothing on you. It needed to be said. Thank you very much. I appreciate McDougall. A lot of stuff he said was still gold because he laid it down raw. You know, he called out the fat pigs. You know, he obviously promoted a low-fat diet. But, you know, when I start talking about, like, prolonged hibernation mode and that stuff like that, McDougall didn't really talk about any of that stuff. Let's see here. John Shaw, 3285, said hibernation mode is 4 pounds minimal weight loss every 24 hours. It's going to be probably about 1% of your body. When you're deep into it, you're going to, well, you'll see. Okay? Like if we can hold Matt on this dry fast long enough, we'll get a pretty good trend. With me personally, like I said, 7 days, I dropped 25 pounds. It was 25. Yeah, I went from 190 to 165. And then I think I rebounded maybe 5. So, and that was me at that lower body weight. So if you look at it, it's almost bang on. Because, you know, it's about 10% of your body, it's about 1% of your body weight per day. It's about, if you did a 10, if you went into hibernation mode for 10 days, you're talking about 10% of your total body weight or more in 10 days. So if you're 300 pounds, you're talking 30 pounds or more in 10 days. All right? So if you could go 20 days, you're talking 60 pounds. Okay, if you can go 30 days, you're talking 90 pounds. If you weigh 300 pounds, you can get to 200 pounds in 90 days. Or sorry, 30 days. In 30 days, you could literally lose 100 pounds if you weighed 300 pounds. If you went 30 days. If you went to hibernation over 30 days in a row, you could lose 100 pounds. If you weighed 300, if you weighed 600, that's what I was saying to Matt and somebody, I said, you know, somebody could potentially, if they could stay in hibernation mode for 100 days in a row, or even, well, at a really heavy weight, but 100 days in a row, you could lose 300 pounds. Could a super fat person do 100 days in a row? Sure. Somebody that's like laid up, morbid obese on the bed and they're just grossly obese? Yeah, sure. It'll be fine. What's going to hurt them? They got nothing but water and shit on their body. Okay, they got crazy amounts of loose skin. Crazy amounts of excess skin that's going to be getting chewed up. Of course. Take it day by day. Check their vitals. Make sure they're good. Okay, every day, just check their vitals. Oh, you're good. Check them 3 times a day. You're good. You'd see they'd be good all the way down. They'd lost all the weight. If a guy can stay locked up in a prison and be in hibernation mode for 18 days and he was literally a normal body weight and didn't die, what's that say about anybody that's obese? They can just go nonstop until they've lost it all. You just got to not be a chicken shit. Echo Bowley's Kennel Canada said, I went from 245 pounds down to 150 pounds following you back in 2019. Glad to see you back. Straight blunt truths. The world needs this. See, that was when I was at my prime, baby, because I was pushing the same message. And that's when they started zapping me and I had to relax shit. Okay, I was pushing the same message literally for 3 years straight. 2016, when I started my YouTube channel, right to 2019, into almost before Cornvid. And then I had to pull the brakes on it because I started nailing my crap. Now I'm back. I'm just working around the verbiage. Melissa online said, why did Matt go up to 509? Just curious because when we prepped, he drank a pile of, wasn't a lot of calories, but he drank a bunch of water, which he probably didn't need to drink. He was just thinking in his head he's going into he's going into hibernation mode for a long period of time. So he drank a bunch of extra water on top of like a gallon. It was 2,000 calories. I measured it out exact of fruit and juice. Then he had more water. And then when we weighed him that night, he was just up a bunch. And then that's why you've seen that drop. He had that 6-pound drop. And then he'll be, today, if everything goes good, we'll see what he's at. Is hibernation mode just a complete DF? Yes, it is. Earl 3446 asked that. Let's see. New Low City Citizen down 24 pounds in 2 weeks on potato OMAD. Going dry 7 days starting this weekend. Thanks, Cole. Look at this guy. Man, New Low City. New Low City. Look at this guy, 24 pounds in 2 weeks. That's great. That's awesome, man. If you got weight on you, 7-day hibernation is nothing. It'll be, it'll be hard to a point, but it won't be that tough. And the beauty is, even if the sleep's bad some nights, you know that you're going to weigh less the next day. It's not like when you're holding water on a water fast, you get a bad sleep, you're not dumping water and shit. There's no juggling water. That's why I love this shit, baby. I love hibernation mode. DF, man, I was the DF guy. Like, I love that shit. It's like, are you DTF? Down to fast. Man. KJB 0001 said, Cole, just buy some damn reading glasses. Walk your scrawny ass to CVS and pay $10. Okay, glasses are a scam. Screw up your eyes. If your eyes are buggered up from looking at the screens too close and shit, which I've had that happen and at times, you get off the screens. If you got rid of your phone for a week straight or 2 weeks straight and didn't look at any close up, your eyes will reset themselves so quick it'll make your head spin. Eye health is a big passion of mine. Unlocking the ciliary muscle is a big problem. Like, glasses are bullshit. Glasses just make the problem worse. The problem is you got a locked up ciliary muscle. That's why kids can't see. Then they go in and take an eye test and their eyes are so shot just from the close up, but they're still good. Okay, they're just tight. And then they throw glasses on them, and then it basically screws up the focal point, makes your eyes start actually getting longer, so it matches the focal point. Then you need a stronger and stronger and stronger diopter lens. Okay, myopia is an epidemic. Okay, go look up Jake Steiner, his channel. Okay, I wish I had more traffic. Jake Steiner, End Myopia. Go look up his stuff. Okay, if you have like a -5 diopter lens, you could work yourself down to 20/20 vision. But you got to do distance work. You got to make your eyes work just like you're exercising. You got to look at stuff that most people, the eyes will take the path of least resistance. So they won't try to look at letters where there's blur at distance. And you look at those letters, look, blink, and you can relax that ciliary muscle. And if you completely get off the screens up close, especially the down angle is the worst. Computer screen, if it's far enough back, probably won't screw you up. If it's far enough back, large TV, driving is actually really good for your eyes. The shitty part is you got to drive because then your eyes are scanning like they should and trying to catch movement. Anyway, I don't need to get into a bunch of eye health shit. The other thing is just lose weight, fat pig. Okay? A lot of that atherosclerosis and neuropathies because you got little blood vessels in your eyes because your blood sugars are sky high because you're a fat pig, eat too much and eat too much fat. And that's why the calories are so high and your blood sugar controls shit. So now your those little arteries and stuff that's like the high blood sugar is like sandpaper. So you get weight off Okay, you get weight off, cut the fat out of your diet, reverse your insulin resistance, start to get glucose tolerant again, and all that stuff's going to clear right up. And if you want to do it really quick, hibernation mode. You notice your eyes will get instantly clearer when you start doing stuff like that. You start cutting the food back and get the calories way down. John Shaw, 3285. Now, this isn't perfect science, but it's not way off. Depends how heavy you are. What water fasting is a pound a day weight loss. Dry fasting is 2 pounds per day weight loss. Water fasting, if you're morbidly obese, maybe 2 pounds per day weight loss. Hibernation mode, it's going to be, like I say, 500 pound, 600 pound person is going to be 5, 6, 7 pound a day. You know, it all depends how heavy you are. Melissa online said in hibernation mode, you'll lose 1% of your body weight per day, no matter how much you weigh. Not if you're a fat pig, no matter how much you weigh. So if you were a woman that was 150 pounds, okay, you're gonna lose 1.5 at that moment. You're gonna lose 1.5 pounds a day until you get to, like, say 140, 1.4. It's gonna be something close to that. Prior undip 8705 said hormonal balance is key to healthy weight loss. Weight loss is healthy. Weight loss is healthy. Fast weight loss is healthier yet. Okay, you don't need to worry about hormones and all this bullshit. You just need to get weight off. See, that's the kind of Mickey Mouse enabling bullshit that makes people not lose any weight when they start thinking about shit like that. Hormones, metabolism. I gotta get a minimum on my protein. I gotta hit the fat count. Like, man, hibernation mode is nothing. Okay, you're gonna level your hormones at the best when you stop eating, fatty. Okay, there's nobody that's more screwed up hormones than fat women, and they're eating everything and anything. Explain that. Because they eat too much. Fat. As soon as they cut the food out, they'll get rid of all their fibroids and shit. All their tumors. Oh, let's see here. 4D Traveler said something that I don't know if they missed some. Okay. I forgot who back in the day, a doctor locked up a sick dog with nothing but a boot. When the dog got hungry enough to eat the boot, that meant fast was sufficient and dog was healed. That's a good point, man. They guess we'll do with fat cat. We'll just lock people in a cage with a rubber boot, and if they start gnawing on that rubber boot, they're probably skinny. If the boot isn't eaten, they're not done that fast. Yeah, that's a good point. That's why I always say if you're not hungry enough to eat potatoes, then you're not that hungry. Even the fruit, if you're not hungry enough to eat that, you're definitely not that hungry. That's fat people don't get. There is no hunger. It's a joke. Fat people, the hunger is a joke. All right. Okay, you don't even know what hunger feels like until you've gotten leaner than hell. That's what drives me probably the most nuts. That's what probably pisses me off the most. When I hear a fat person like, I'm hungry. No, you're not. You don't even know what hunger feels like. It's just a complete lack of gratitude. Don't even know what hunger feels like. Fat people don't have a clue what it feels like to truly be hungry. They don't have a clue because you can only feel that when you're damn lean, damn lean. John Shaw asks, 3285 says, if Matt does a 10-day, if he hibernates for 10 days at 500 pounds, will he lose 50 pounds? Yeah, he'd lose 50 pounds. It'd be right close, right close. Right close. See, this is the other thing, too. Your Oprah Zempic ain't going to be making you chew on loose skin either. Like, it just completely blunts autophagy. High protein weight loss, if you are even losing weight. If your calories aren't low enough, you're not losing shit. But if you are losing weight on something with a bunch of protein in it, it's blunting autophagy. Okay, you're cranking mTOR up all the time. Okay, you're not prolonging your life with that kind of a diet. Okay, you're burning your body out. That's just the way it is. The people that live the longest are always eating low protein. Always. Bland 6004 says, I'm leaving for the U.S. Army in 3 weeks. I meet my body fat standards at 19%, but I want to lose 10 pounds. So you meet the standard. I want to lose 10 pounds without sacrificing strength, but then by then, if I can. I'm a male, 5 foot, 585. Yeah, you could definitely be lighter than that. Okay, ideally in that situation, like you could even get pretty aggressive right now, 19%. Like you could bring that 185 down to 170 very aggressively. Like who gives a shit about a little bit of pressing strength? Okay, let's talk about pull-up numbers and push-up numbers and running speeds and jumping and height and vertical. Okay, chase different goals. Don't be like, I don't want to lose strength. What's that mean? You don't want to lose strength on a deadlift, bench press, and squat? Who gives a shit about those 3 lifts? That's what people are always, it's always that. It's like, well, you don't want to lose strength on a dumbbell press? Who cares? Okay, get the true functional exercises up there. Okay, pushing power off the floor with body weight. Okay, pulling power to climb up a tree or a rope. Okay, don't even worry about that's the problem. Sacrificing strength in what? On what grounds? Okay, what strength? What you can't hit the same bench press? Who gives a shit? Okay, who cares? Can't hit the same squat? Who gives a shit? Who cares? Okay, get fast, get light. Strength to weight ratio is what you need to be chasing. Strength to weight ratio. Okay, not just raw strength. Strength to weight ratio. All right. So right away, what's your calorie count and you weighing yourself every day? If the scale's not dropping, pull the calories down. Okay, if you want to get a hold of me, Snake Diet Wizard, Instagram, Cole Robinson on Facebook. Here's one. King Tall. Cole, if someone is 10 to 12% body fat, you're good. Okay, I don't need to read the rest of this question, but I will. Body fat and they want to get to 78% real fast. Would you recommend hibernation mode? Yeah, you could definitely go dry down to that weight, but you still got to settle into a diet after that's going to maintain 7 or 8%, which a lot of people just trying to hold on to 7 or 8% is going to be hard. Okay, what's wrong with 10 to 12%? Hey, why do people keep trying to chase these stupid numbers? Like, are you trying to get on stage for a bodybuilding show, which is a dumb sport anyway? Okay, like maybe just work your body at those. Maybe just try to get a little lighter at a time and try to maybe get better at some of your body weight movements. Okay, why chase those kinds of numbers in the first place? Because somebody on YouTube saying, "Oh, you got to be 7% to get laid." Like, is that what it is? Well, you're not going to get laid at 10%. Like, maybe that's not the issue. Okay, even though that's what they sell you to sell their stupid shit. They sell you on that idea. Oh, you can't like get this or that unless you're like 7% or something. Something that's not even achievable. So how handy is that? Something you can't even barely even get to. Heck, I've been 7% body fat. It's hard to even get there. Okay, could I hold it? Yeah. Okay, but do I have to sacrifice a lot? Yeah. Okay, is my focus fat people? Yeah. Okay, do a lot of you people that are actually at a good body weight have body dysmorphia? Yeah. And lack of confidence, like for a whole different reason. Like, man, okay, like imagine you, yeah, when you're down around 12% body fat as a male, if you got some muscle on, you're gonna look good. Okay, are you gonna be more cut up, if a little leaner? Yeah, if you got some people have a bit better genetics to pull down a little lower. But if it's that hard for you in the first place, you probably have no business trying to be that lean at all. Eyesight doesn't need to get worse as you age. Okay, that's a lot of myth with a lot of bullshit. This gets worse as you age, blah, 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 blah. I've seen people improve shit like crazy from 40 to 70. Okay, if you're doing your eye exercises and you're not abusing your eyes with all the close-up screen time, you could actually have better eyesight. You can actually improve your eyesight. Your eyes are a muscle like anything. There's a muscle right in your eyes. You can make your eyes adapt to all sorts of shit. It's an environmental issue, the same as you getting fat. Like, that's a worst cop-out. Oh, you're getting older. That's the worst cop-out. I hear that all the time. Well, if you're as old as I am, then you are as old as they are. So it's like, when they're 40, they're like, when you're as old as I am, and then you are 40, and it's like you're in freaking wicked shape still. And the same person's like 60. When you're as old as I am, then when you hit 60, you're in wicked shape still. Maybe it's that person. Bunch of whiners. Making up excuses. Nothing but bullshit excuses, whiners. See, KJB 0001 said, my vision is still 20/20. I'm old, haven't spent a lifetime on screens. We use typewriters. Well, there you go. Life after health. 5'11", 460 pounds. Now, this guy's fat. I've done a 7-day, 4-day DF, lost 48 pounds. Did not do the refeed right, and my mind got the best of me. Ready to do this again. Yeah, so the refeeds again. Cut the fat, cut the protein. Okay, I'm making you guys fearless here. Okay, don't think you need to get all this shit in. You can cut the protein right out of that diet. Right out of that diet. You can cut the protein to 0 in your diet for 360 days. If you were 500 pounds, and that's how long it would take you to get down to your goal weight. No protein, no fat, whatever trace proteins in your fruit and vegetables and starch or whatever. Okay, you can cut the protein right out. Right out. And that's going to allow you to drive the calories even lower when you don't have that stupid fear of chasing that macro of protein. Stop chasing protein, you idiots. Okay, it's making your calories higher for no reason. The only thing you need is some salt and some wet carbohydrate. All right? Matthew Polishing 7294 says, you're the best, Cole. Thank you very much. Shell 51288 says, I'm going to get on this DF. I'm 5 feet tall, 260. Holy shit, this woman's a fat ass. Yeah, get on it. Get on it. Get hot. Get sexy. You're 260, you should probably be about 100 pounds. 160 pounds you could lose. Okay, you could bust out a 30-day, you could go into hibernation mode for 30 days and you'd be 100. If she went into hibernation mode for 30 days straight, she would probably lose, oh man, it'd be crazy, 70, 80 pounds. Let's go. Keeman 540 said, I'm working on your plan with some changes to help me out a bit more at the 6 foot tall and have gone from 350 pounds to 255 in the last 6 months. Nice job. 100-pound drop, 6 months. Man, that's impressive. Most people don't lose 100 pounds in a year. You're on pace. See, like this guy, Zach Gage 426 says, geez, at 5 feet tall, you should be 120. What are you talking about? 120. She should be like 100. Okay? 100, like 100 or 90. Like, you get lean, go low. Like, a 5 foot tall woman should be 100 pounds. Less, not 120. 120, a woman would be like, 5'5". Okay, 5'4", 5'5", depending on how much muscles he's got on her. 5 feet tall women should be 100 pounds. 90 pounds. Whatever happened to some of the women that were, like, whatever happened to 90-pound women? 95-pound women, 100-pound women. Okay, you got a woman that's 4'10". Okay, 85-pound woman. Okay, where are they at? They don't exist because you're fat. You think that that's too light for some reason because you're just so used to this fat culture. Okay, everyone's fat. Okay, the new norm is like a fat pig. Like, it's crazy with people. The standards are so low, it's insane. Okay, it's like, oh, that girl looks good. She's a fat pig. Oh, that guy, he's in decent shape. He's a fat pig. Like, give me a break. 120 at 5 feet tall. Shit. What he meant was she should be a lot lighter than 260, but she could be a lot lower than 120. Arthur Fonzarelli asked, did Matt go back home? He's still here. All right, what do we got here? Christian Oakmar says, do you know any type of fasting protocol diet mixed together that could help heal spinal disc injury? Well, one of the best things is going to be just lots of hanging. Get the spine stretched. Okay, lay off the heavy-ass stupid leg work in the gym. Okay, do body weight training, tons of pulling. Okay, lay off all the heavy leg bullshit. Heavy leg training is stupid, all right? I did it for years. It did nothing for me but beat the shit out of me for my ego at a powerlifting meet. Okay, stupid shit. Okay, don't do any training that's going to make you beat up. It's pointless. Like, why are you in the gym? To get healthier, to get all beat up and wear your joints out? Okay, I know from experience. Trust me. Okay, so lots of hanging. You want to get lots of hanging in. And if you're fat, you obviously want to lose weight, take pressure off the spine. Okay, even me, when I'm like, say, 20 pounds heavier than I should be, I can feel the lower back tension. Swimming's good. Like, all the good stuff. All the stuff that's going to put a pull on your back. Okay, even maybe if it doesn't hurt you, maybe even some inversion. Some hanging on the old hanging boots with the hooks. Or a table. All right, let's see here. Okay, here's one. Maker's Folly says, Cole, does DF get rid of fibrocystic breast tissue? See, this is the thing, guys. Like, any tissue, any buildup, anything that's a solid on your body is protein that shouldn't be there. Okay, cataracts, all this crap. Okay, amyloid plaque. Okay, plaque buildup in the arteries, like all this crap. Okay, tumors. Okay, colon tumors, like liver, all of it. All of it. Hibernation mode, baby. Okay? Low protein dieting, baby. Okay? Low calorie weight loss, baby. Let's see here. Low protein, or Manny 06V9C says low protein, live longer. Yeah, it's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. People are just caught up in this meathead mentality. Meatheads. Meatheads. Okay, it's so stupid. You lose so much athleticism trying to get big. Okay, it's like even me. The longer I go, even now with this mindset, like I haven't done any heavy leg training for weeks, months. Okay, best my knees and hips have felt in years. In years. Okay, my swimming stroke's getting better. Everything just gets better. Your shoulders are way better shape. Okay, all I do, and it's not all I do, it's intense. Like I do body weight training, but I do shit with weird ass angles and lots of partials on the pulling. Okay, lots of shit where I have a lot of time under tension. Lots of stuff where I overload the crap out of the muscle with a really hard angle. And then you get strong and like build tendon strength. Gull Wings 88 said, hi, Cole. People on Ozempic get loose skin. Do you know why that is? It's the same shit, like I said. There's no autophagy happening. It halts autophagy. Go look it up. Ask your stupid AI. Ask AI, oh, what's the difference? What does fasting do what Ozempic does? It'll say, yeah, it does everything Ozempic does and more, and it causes autophagy, and Ozempic doesn't. And then you're still not restricting protein, even if the calories are low enough to lose weight, because that's all Ozempic does is make you eat less. So if you're still hammering a bunch of protein in, you're not going to be chewing on the loose skin. I wonder when the powers of be are going to get triggered by this, because these videos will get out there. Okay, oh no, Cole's back. He's back talking about hibernation mode and talking about how eating a pile of protein basically completely negates loose skin getting chewed up. Okay, low protein diet, and it's funny, Longo's fasting mimicking diet, low protein, low cal. Longo's fasting mimicking diet was literally low protein, low calories. All right? And that's why it was fasting mimicking. Low protein, low calories. Man, if I was monetized on this video, man, I would have made like $1,000. Oh, shit. Well, whatever, I guess. Keep pumping the message. You know, you keep pumping value. That's a law of the universe. Giving and receiving. You just keep pumping value, and it just comes back at you in weird ways. Matthew Polishing 7294 says, what are wet carbs? So carbs, high water content, carbohydrates, fruit, potatoes, boiled potatoes. Arthur Fonzarelli says, Sean, dad bod Baker. Tell Baker that. Hey, Snake Eye Wizard saying that protein causes loose skin. Protein causes loose skin. Yeah. If you have the discipline to actually lose a pile of weight on a diet that's still entertaining a bunch of protein and a big calorie deficit, though, your body's not going to have a reason to chew on the loose skin. It's not going to have a reason to chew on the loose skin. It's the way it is. Sorry. Sorry, the zero carb, low protein vegan's got a better diet than you. Okay, once you get lean, play. You don't have to be a vegan. Okay? But as far as weight loss goes, I'm sorry that my protocol with the hibernation mode combined with that zero fat, low protein, low calorie vegan diet are the best for weight loss. Sorry. Like by far, it's not even comparable. My conspiracy says I'm 175. Can I get to 140 by April 1st? Sure you can. How bad do you want it? It's on you. Can it be done? Yeah. Hibernation mode till you hit 140 pounds. Okay, that's probably 170 to 140, 35 pounds. If you did it if you wanted to do it as fast as humanly possible, like right now, you're talking 10 days in hibernation mode. There, you'd be kissing 140 in 10 days. Maybe 12 days. Stall City Train asked me, what's going to happen with this channel if it's demonetized forever? Keep making videos till they take it right down. Jessica Cap 5010 said, I'm pretty tall, 5'9.5" woman. How much should I weigh? Depends. Depends on your genetics. But I'll tell you this about women. If you're not on drugs, like not on any PEDs, okay, with women, the BMI chart is good. Okay, if you're in the overweight, or like if you're not in the normal on the BMI chart and you're a woman, you're a fat ass. Men, it's a bit different. Okay, BMI chart isn't exactly perfect for men. Because you could have a real lean dude that's almost in the overweight column and he's really lean because he's a male. BMI chart for women is spot on. Okay? If you're not in the normal range on a BMI chart and you're a woman, you're a fat ass. And I would say you should be leaning closer to the low 20s. If not, some women are going to be in the teens on the BMI chart. That's the ones that really want to be slim. 19 BMI, 18 BMI. Okay, get down to a 15 BMI. We're talking a 10 BMI. Hibernation mode till you're 10 BMI. And then you know you're chewing up loose skin good. Zach H said, who would have said 90 for women? Of course, like a small woman, like a 4'10" woman that's slim. Okay, she could easily be 90 pounds. Easily. The women that are that short can be 90 pounds. Okay, that's a very short woman, so that's like the bottom of the curve. But they could be 90 pounds. Okay, like even type in a BMI calculator. Right now, if you put a woman in there at 4'10" and see what her weight would be if she was at like a 19 BMI, 18 BMI. I guarantee it's going to be crazy low. That'd be a slim 4'10" woman. It's Brady. It's Brady, 5'9" male. I started at 240, down to 160, snake fasting and tracking calories. Thanks, Cole. Nice job. 160s, that's a good weight for 5'9". Real good. And even, 160, he could be real slim at 5'9". At 160, he could be moderately muscular at 5'9". Yeah, 5'9", you could be maybe, if you're a big dude, natural, no drugs, 100, even 175, 180 pounds could be a real good weight at 5'9". But yeah, you're that's good. At that point, it's the mirror, right? What are you looking like in the mirror? You looking slim, or you look like at a body fat level that, as long as you don't got body dysmorphia that you're okay with. A lot of people got body dysmorphia. That's why they need a second set of eyes like me to tell them that they actually look good once they've hit a good weight. Like, it's crazy how many dipshits are trying to lose weight and they actually look good as it is. It's not a lot because most people are fat, but it's it's funny how, you know, sometimes a lot of times the slimmer people care more about losing weight. Well, most of the time, the slimmer people care more about losing a little bit of weight than the fat people care about losing weight at all. Oh, man, there's a lot of questions here. And I still got 200 people watching this. It's been forever. Fake stock guru says in a 700 cal deficit and not losing weight, what's the deal? Well, you're not in a 700 calorie deficit. That's the deal. Okay, if you're not losing weight, you're not in a deficit. So why would you make an assumption that you're burning, let's say you're even counting the calories accurately, meaning you're measuring it perfect. If you're using packaged goods, why would you even say you're in a 700 calorie deficit? Like, where are you getting that from? You know why you're getting that? Because you're making an assumption on how much you're burning on the day. The scale ain't dropping, you're not in a deficit. Okay, go low. That's why I keep telling people, like, man, if you got some fat on you, go 1,000 calories less. Okay, make sure you're in a deficit and then see what the scale starts doing and then play. Don't just make a guess and then you're stalled and you're not even you're not in a deficit. If you're not losing weight, you're not in a deficit. Like, this is the stupid verbiage. People are stupid, man. I see this all the time. It's like, I'm not losing weight in a deficit. It's like they get horny saying in a deficit, like they sound like they're smart. Well, you're not in a deficit. Like, man, isn't that like grade three common sense? You're not in a deficit if you're not losing weight. So go lower on the calories. Trainer C said pin your PayPal in the chat, Cole. And I should have pinned that. Damn it. pumpkincontrols@hotmail.com. And you make sure you get that S in there because some of these people are smart. I think somebody even started a PayPal account that's pumpkincontrol without the S at hotmail.com. And I know people screw up and I send them the exact email instead of just copy pasting it. They retype it and miss that S and then somebody else got the money. People are clever. Okay, they'll make a PayPal that's very close to somebody else's, and then they'll collect it here and there because people screw up typing it in. Okay, let's see here. KJB111 said BMI chart for women is not accurate. It allows too much fluff. So exactly what I said. I said that women should for sure be in normal range on there at minimum. Okay, what I said was if men were outside of normal there, so for women, the normal, if they're in the normal range, that's a start. Okay, but men can actually be lean and be outside of normal. But women, what they would say the other. Okay, they would say, oh, the BMI chart's not accurate. They would say that the normal is too low. What I'm saying, it's not low at all. If anything, it's like you're saying, it's still on the top end of normal. It's still high. But that's what comes out of most women's mouths is they say it's not accurate for the other reason. They're saying it's not accurate because they shouldn't be in the normal range. They should be higher than that, which is bullshit. That means they're just a fat-ass pig guaranteed. Okay, but a woman that's at the top end of normal, if she's got really heavy set genetics, big bones, decent muscles, she might be in the top end of normal. But a lot of women would definitely, just like I said when I mentioned it, I've said they'd be in the low 20s, if not in the teens, is exactly what I said. All right. Stall City Train said, Snake Diet, you don't expect to be remonetized? I don't know. When the 2 strikes are gone, I can try to remonetize. I got to hit the 4,000 hours again, which will take 2 seconds. But all my old videos are going to have to stay on. They're all down. Basically, almost all of them. And then we'll see what happens. And then what I'll do is I'll probably mainly just make straight lives like these. Okay, Low Cal Al said, I once dated a 5'0", 90-pound woman. She was not rexic. I loved baking and eating. She just walked everywhere, exactly. Exactly. There's lots of women that would be like 5'6", 5'7", that are under 120 pounds. Okay, lots. Okay, but now we're in a stupid ass culture here in North America, especially. You see all these dumbass, all these women just trying to bulk and shit, trying to bulk, like, you know, trying to be men. And then men are trying to be women. Okay, they're fat with bitch tits, soft ass jackasses. Oh, there we go. Somebody did it. I told you guys. So unlisted X2Y said he typed it in. He said BMI for a 4'10", 90-pound woman is 18.8, which is not crazy low BMI either. That's a slim woman. 4'10", 90 pounds. There's your 90-pound woman. So if you have like a lot of 5 foot women should be 100 pounds. 5 foot tall, 100 pounds. It worked fairly accurate that if you took 5 feet and said a 5 foot woman should be about 100 pounds-ish, for every extra inch, you would allow them 5 more pounds. So 5'1", 105, 5'2", 110, 5'3", 115, 5'4". That's not perfect either, because you'll have tall, slim women that are way lighter, but that's a decent baseline. Like, it's not, you're not gonna fit it perfect, but I'm just saying that women should be light. Like these women that are like 100 and like if a woman is like 160, 170, she better be like 6 feet tall. All right, and with a good amount of muscle. Like it's just, you should be small. Women are small. Okay, if they're not small, they're fat. Fat. Even men are small. Men are idiots too. Like these men, I see this shit going around on YouTube now that it's just a complete cope for being fat. They're saying that if you're under 200 pounds, you're at a victim weight. Okay, who's the victim? Fatty. Okay, if you're over 200 pounds and you're a man, you better be tall. Okay, if you're over 200 pounds, you're a man, you're a fat ass. You're a fat pig. Okay, most men that are in really good, like in decent shape, that are slim, that are, around that average, that height average, let's say, like me, I'm 5'7". I'm actually a heavy 5'7"er. Okay, there could be a slim dude that's 5'7". Like there's a buddy of mine used to fight at like 127 pounds at 5'7". He was way slimmer than me though, not near as much muscle. It's just his build, but 5'9", 165, 70, maybe 180. Even 6 foot tall dudes. Like if they're not on gear and they're lean, they're not going to be over 200 pounds, man. I grew up with guys that were big guys that were not 200 pounds. They weren't 200 pounds, and they were like 5'11". 6 feet. Like that's a big dude, usually on gear. Okay, so these dumbasses that I don't even know where that came out of when they're trying to make it sound like if you're not 200 pounds, like talk about trying to promote people to eat like pigs. If you're not 200 pounds, you're a victim weight. You're an idiot. That's it. That's a complete excuse to eat like a pig. Okay, like 95% of men that are over 200 pounds, unless they're over 6 feet, 6'1", they're fat. They got fat on them. Unless they're using PEDs, they're fat ass. Like even to bring up an example, even Mark Bell. Mark Bell's like, what? Like he's trying to get under 200. He's got to let himself lose some muscle. Okay, he's still caught up and holding on to all his fucking muscle. But even Mark, he's like 6 feet tall. Like he was down to like 203, 204 on gear. And look at how big he is. So how many people are going to be over 200 that aren't on gear that are lean? Like nobody. Fat pigs. Fat ass pigs. Not to mention when men get fatter, man, they're less dangerous. You get slow, you can't maneuver, you're less dangerous. One-on-one situation, your ass whooped, you'd be out of gas. Okay, it's like I remember it was a joke. You got a fat guy. Say people come out explosive and you get in a scrap, and let's say you're both like, nobody's really a pro fighter or anything. I'll tell you right now, the first guy to run out of gas, if the fight's still going and no one's stopped, no one's gotten like flattened or anything, the guy that runs out of gas is gonna get his ass whooped. That's when the fight starts, when one of the guys runs out of gas. And that's why when I was boxing, when I was 12 years old, 13 years old, the coach beat us to death on cardio. Because he knew that the kids that were in the best shape were going to beat the other kids half to death in a 3-minute fight, or in a 3-round fight. Okay, there was fights that I won that literally, I was I was a green fighter compared to some of these kids started boxing when they were like 6. And, I got beat maybe in the first round, and then I was just in such good shape that they would be gassed after the first round. I just beat on them for 2 rounds after that and win. Okay, it's conditioning's king. Okay, you start to get fat, you fat pigs, with your victim mentality bullshit. With your 200-pound fat body, you're gonna get, you're not near as dangerous, man. You're slow. You can't sidestep as quick. Like, those running backs in football, man. Those guys are freaking fast, and most of those guys are on gear. If they weren't on gear, they'd be under 200 pounds. Okay, most of the 100-meter sprinters, 100-meter sprinters, they're like 175, 180 pounds. And these guys are top-tier genetics, and they're still on some gear. Okay, like that's a big-ass boxer. Those are big dudes like Muhammad Ali. When he was in his prime, no drugs, he was like 6'3", and he was fighting under 200 pounds. Even Mike. So Tyson's got freaky genetics when he was younger. No gear when he was younger for sure. He was 5'11" and a half, and he fought at 216 when he was younger. Like, how many people are going to be 216 pounds, or how many people have Mike Tyson's genetics at 5'11"? That's how tall he was when he was younger. He shrunk since, but he was 5'11" and a half when he was a kid, and he had freaky genetics. Like, look at the size of his neck and shit, and he was still only 216. So how many people are going to be even close to as heavy as him that are that are the same leanness? Nobody. All them guys, man, all them old fighters, like most of them guys, they had to be 6'3" to be over 200 pounds. Rocky Marciano was only like 186. Rocky Marciano, man, the only undefeated heavyweight champ ever. 186 fucking pounds. And that guy hit you so hard, he'd knock you the fuck out cold. Okay, out cold with a thud. Like, man, this guy could hit at 186 fucking pound body weight, right? Like, crazy. Yeah, victim. Yeah, I just got a rant because it just so badly promotes overeating. It's insane. This fucking 200-pound victim weight, if you're not over 200 pounds, is insane bullshit. Insane. Tell that to Rocky Marciano when he's knocking your teeth out the back of your fucking head. I'm sure he was like 186 pounds or some shit. Crazy strong, man. You ever see how hard that guy hit? Like some of them old videos, he hit a guy so hard, top of the head, man. Like, what was the one guy he fought? Like, they just throw with their body. They just punch with their body, man. These guys hit hard. And then you get to a certain weight, you actually lose punching power because if you get too slow, if you get fat. And I notice it with me. Like, I have a best snap at about 178 in my punch. When I get up to 190, 195, you lose that snap because it's just not as. It's like you got weight to throw through the bag, but the snap's not there. Get light, baby. Get light. Oh man, Krista, 7087, 5'4", 230-pound fat ass. I started DF yesterday. Hibernation mode, baby. And want to TH in brackets. I'm not sure what that is. And want to stay in as long as possible, but return to work week Tuesday. Will I be able to function or expect to start snake juice until I'm off again? Yeah, well, you might be able to grind out some, I don't know what you do for a job. You'll have to go by feel. You might be okay. If you're really fat, you might be okay in hibernation mode, right? Just go by feel. And if you have to break it, you have to break it. And if you want to break it, you can break it with just water and snake juice salts. Okay, water and snake juice salts. Okay, that's funny. Some of them guys could hit so hard. Even Roy Jones in his prime, man. And he was fighting at like 178? Man, these people are literally promoting the men to get fat by saying that. Oh, if you're not over 200 pounds, you're the victim weight. Idiots. Idiots. All right. Let's see what we got here. Mice Conspiracy said, can we email you directly for one-on-one coaching? Yeah. Cole Robinson on Facebook, Snake Diet Wizard on Instagram. And I will be asking for accountability pictures. Full body in the pictures. Faces in the pictures. Okay, they don't go up anywhere. Faces lose weight too, fatty. That's sometimes the best gauge, is the face. At times. Let's see here. MMO2EX says, how lean should a 5-foot man be? Like, what should you weigh? Like, there's such a span. Like, if you're, like I said, at 5'11", if you're natural and you're lean, you know, you're a big dude if you're 200 pounds. Like I just said, Mike Tyson was 216 with probably about the best genetics you'll ever see at about 5'11" and change. So you can minus 20 pounds off of that for most people. Okay, that's where free fat mass index comes in. That's where wrist size comes in. So, like I had a buddy who was 5'6", and his wrists were huge. He was huge, but he's only 5'6", so you get those rare genetics. Like he was huge. Like a guy like that would be like Dorian Yates. Dorian Yates wasn't very tall, but he had big bones, big bones. So big, those big bones, you can put on a lot of muscle at a shorter height. So there's that. So there's some other stuff involved there. Okay, if I seen pictures of people, I'll be like, I could be like, either you're fat or you're not. Okay, if I look at you, I'm like, okay, you're fat. Okay, or I look at you and it's like, no, you're not fat. You're just way under muscled. You're not even doing your body weight training. You're not doing nothing. Okay, you can see, you just look at the picture. The pictures are everything. Unlisted 2X2Y typed in BMI for a woman 5 foot 100 pounds is 19.5 BMI. See? Like, that's a good BMI for a woman. Like, and then these fat pig women think they should be like in the high 20s for their BMI. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? A lot of women, too, instead of just losing weight and getting slim, they try to build their ass up to try to create an illusion of a small waist when they're just fat. So now they're extra fat now. You're still going to be big. You don't want to be bigger, even though your illusion with your stupid Instagram, because your waist to ass ratio is probably decent because you just build your ass, or get ass implants, and your weight, you're still fat. So illusion-wise, because there's no contrast with you besides somebody else, you look good in the illusion because your waist to ass ratio is good, but then out in the world, you're standing beside somebody and you just look big. You're just big still. It doesn't matter if you have a good waist to ass ratio. You're still way overweight. So now you're just big. Okay, most women don't want to be big. Okay, just lose the fat and bring the waist down to proper size, like the low 20s, and then you wouldn't have to fucking get your ass implants or fucking go do fucking ass raises till you're blue in the face to try to make up the difference. And then some women have genetics where they just pile of fat in their ass, so they're lucky that way. But then you're still a fat ass. Ken Wang 2 said, Cole needs to put on some muscle. I'm trying to lose muscle. Shit. Muscle loss city, baby. Trying to lose muscle. Trying to get stronger tendons. Okay, I want to be just like sinew. All right? I want to be small. I want to be lighter so I can cut through that swim pool better. My swim, I've really been practicing my swimming stroke. Trying to get my stroke count down. You're way faster in the water because you're just cutting through. You have less, from the front, if you're looking at me underwater from the front, there's just less surface area coming forwards. You're just not plowing as much water. You're faster. Like, it's crazy how fast I would get just losing weight in the water without even training. It's like you're down 10 pounds and you're just going swimming. You're just like, choo, without even doing any training. You're just faster. Muscle loss, baby. It's good. Let's lose some muscle together, baby. Okay, stop worrying about muscle, you idiot. That's why you're fat ass. Dumb shit. Dumb goals. Dumb goals get dumb results. Okay, MMO. Well, I'm 230 and fat as fuck at 5'11. Says my BMI at 31. 31's fat. 31's too high. All right, let's see here. Revolver, okay, yeah, like Revolver or Ocelot says 5'11", 240 plus are safeties in the NFL and they're fast too. Yeah, like top tier genetic men. Okay, like top tier. Like how many people play in the NFL? Okay, maybe you should stop comparing yourself to an NFL player. Plus, they're all on gear. All of them are on gear, especially football players. They're all on gear. All of them. Okay, all of them. Okay, there's still sports where guys aren't on gear. Okay, but like football, they're all on fucking gear. They got like the beating they take and all the shit that they take to recover faster. They're all on gear. So you can assume that a guy that's 5'11", you know, and how lean is he even at 240 as well? And you can assume that he's probably got 25 to 30 pounds of muscle on him that would never have been there because they're on gear. And they want weight on them. They actually want weight on them. Because so in that situation, they want to be as fast as possible, but also heavy. They almost want to have some weight on them. That's a stupid sport to even compare yourself to. Not to mention how many healthy football players are there that are 100 years old. Or wait, I forgot. They all die way before that. Get your priorities straight. John Shaw, 3285, said I'm 6'4", 210 is perfect for my height. Probably is. Probably is. Doing it for fun. Triple H said a girl called me a fat ass at the mall. That's awesome. You can probably start a whole YouTube channel. Just freaking go up and start calling people fat pigs. You probably get rich quick or get shot. Purry Dove said, your how to lose weight standing video has changed the game for me. Yeah, standing time when you're fat is critical. Standing time is more important than step count. Okay, standing time is more important than step count. That's why I say always walking on the treadmill, putting your hands on the sides of the treadmill, you know, using just the duration. Try not to beat the shit out of yourself and getting the duration in. All right, but calories being low is more important than even that. Because how many people walk like 10,000 steps a day, burn like whatever, how many calories where they could just knock those calories out of their diet and they wouldn't even have to force the walking if they didn't want to do it. Okay, don't ever rely on exercise for weight loss. Okay, weight loss is 100% diet. Okay, your exercise shouldn't dictate that. Now, is there some sports where people's activity is just so high that they got to eat like a pig? Yeah. Okay, but that's not you. Okay, don't worry about trying to outburn a high calorie diet. Okay, first thing you should focus on is how do I run the calories through the floor, especially if you're, like we're talking fat asses here. We're talking people that are fat. You want to focus on running the calories as low as you can get them and making the day revolve around that goal. Make your day revolve around low-calorie dieting. And then once you get slim, you can start to play with the calories and raise them up a little bit, and then obviously you're slim. And then you start creeping up to maintenance. It's going to hold the weight on the scale. Like, it's not rocket science. Man, it feels so good to be light. Like, even my hip was starting to bug me and shit. Man, it's ego. Okay, you know, you're doing like heavy-ass leg presses, squats, deadlifts, even heavy loaded-up walking lunges. I dumbed it down to doing weighted lunges, and I was just doing them with dumbbells and shit, and I still couldn't get rid of this little bit of a pain. And I know that was what was causing my knee issue, just super tight, like IT bands and shit all the time from all that stupid heavy-ass hip hinge bullshit. Okay, I worry about doing hops, like jumps, body weight lunges, body weight split squats, lots of stretching. Okay, and the upper body, we're doing like lots of pulling. You know, I do maybe a hard set of push-ups every like 3 days. and I just try to improve on the one set, and then I'm focusing on, like, I still hit the punching bag a lot, which a punching bag, a bag session for me is like a pretty hard chest session. Chest and bicep session, to be honest with you, because when you're throwing hooks, your chest flexes hard and your bicep, it's like an impulse. When your hand hits the bag, your bicep, it's not like you're doing a arm curl, but your bicep's got to stop that arm from straightening out when you throw hooks. So like the bag work with the chest and obviously your core and abs are getting smoked. I can almost cramp up the one side of my abs when I throw a pile of hooks with my right hand. And then the swimming, like, I'm more focused on, like, just getting better technique and some of that stuff. It's way more fun, not just pumping. Pumping iron bores me out of my fucking skull now. Like, it's way more. I go to the gym and everyone's pumping iron. I'm like, and like none of them can even do any of the shit that I can do on the bar, because it's just, you're not getting any stronger. It's like the relative. It's just a bad place to chase strength on those lifts. You want to get stronger on cool shit. Okay, get the nervous system strong doing cool shit. Okay, for you guys out there that want to train and make it look sexy, okay, I'll tell you this. I never had more women ask me for help on anything than when I was doing pull-ups. That's when the women would come up and ask me, how do you do a pull-up? How are you doing that? How are you doing that? Okay, they never come up to you when you're fucking doing bench press and shit and squat. Like, it's just not even a sexy way to train. And then you got the park in the summer. You can just go train at the park. You can literally train for free. All you need is a bar somewhere, and you can get the chicken shit little work. It's all I need is one straight bar somewhere. I don't even need to go to the gym. Really, I don't. I have a gym pass for the camaraderie and hang out in there and shit. But you don't even need a gym pass. The only thing I really would need is just a pool pass. Okay, getting heavy at muscle-wise, fat-wise is all stupid. Okay, you'll pay for it in the long run. You'll pay for it. You'll pay for trying to hold on to excesses of amounts of muscle long run, because to do that, you got to pump all this iron. And it just beats you up. It just beats the shit out of you. You can, even if your form's perfect, it's still going to beat the shit out of you. There's nobody in the gym, that's ever saying, oh, I don't have something that's tweaked or some shit. Oh, my shoulder or my back or my hamstring's jacked up, or fuck off. Even the people that have been training for years, man. Years. Okay, I know a woman that's been training for a long time, and she doesn't even do a real heavy training regimen, like just a lot of volume. And she's on gear, and she's always still jacked up. And the way, if you've seen her train, it wouldn't even be a way that you think would really jack you up, not even counting like the guys that are just ego lifting and doing all this heavy ass hip hinge shit, like a bunch of deadlifts and heavy ass bench presses, heavy ass chest work where they're grinding on the lift. That's the perfect time you're gonna fuck your shoulder, when you're grinding on a press. Okay, you should have it with speed if you're even gonna do it at all. As soon as you start grinding on a press, you're gonna get jacked up. Yeah, like this guy, it's Brady said I can climb trees again like a kid. Like, a lot of these freaking jackasses couldn't even climb a tree if their life depended on it. Okay, they couldn't go up, they couldn't play around a rock wall because they're all stiff. Man, it's a dumb way to live, man. That's why Yates doesn't have regrets, I don't think, but Dorian, he doesn't do any of that shit no more. He trains like twice a week, and not even close to the way he used to train. He has a pile of yoga and biking and shit now. And Dorian's definitely screwed up a bit. His shoulders are fucked up for sure. And he was like 6-time Mr. Olympia, man. You just get beat up for nothing, just for ego. And if you want to really chase your ego, start doing shit on a bar. You can do cool. You can get your feet straight up in the air. You can do all sorts of crazy shit on there that nobody can do. And even when you're not even that good, like in comparison, like don't let comparison be the thief of joy when you're watching some calisthenics guys on YouTube that are insane. Because I'll tell you right now, you don't have to be able to do that much to be impressive compared to all the people at your local gym. Shit, just doing if you can do like even a hold, a 90-degree hang up on a bar with your head high, if you could hold that for like 30 seconds, like nobody can even do that. Okay, nobody can get their feet over their head, like go inverted up, like pull on the bars and go upside down. They can't even do that. Like, they can't do shit. Telling you guys. Okay, I've done it all. If you want to be the healthiest you can be, you stop chasing this meathead mentality. Get the weight off. Get slim, and then you work on your your technique, your training that is healthy type training. Like me, even hitting the punching bag and doing some boxing's good. Boxing's very good. Except getting hit in the head's not good. So competing in boxing's bad. But the training is awesome. The boxing training is way better for your health than jiu-jitsu, for example. Jiu-jitsu beats the shit out of you. Okay, wrestling beats the shit out of you. Okay, boxing's very healthy. It's very healthy. There's other ones that are healthy, but I know boxing. Okay, but other ones, I always hear these jiu-jitsu guys are all beat up. Elbows and shoulders are all fucked up. Like, man, like, what are you doing? You know, they get caught up in the camaraderie of it, and then they just get all beat up. Okay, crazy long-distance running is bad. Like, you got to be, if you're going to be a runner distance-wise, you better be light, like crazy skinny. Ken Wang said, my buddy is 230 pounds and very low body fat, cold debunked. Okay, either your buddy's like literally 6'8" or he's on gear. Ken Wang debunked. Okay, there's a certain free fat mass index back in the day that you could literally put it in. If you were over about 25 on that free fat mass index, the chances you're on steroids is very high. Yeah, like, look at this. This will be my last thing I'll say about this. Unlisted X2Y is going to bring up these guys. Light heavyweight in the UFC is 205 if you want to beat John Jones. Right, at light heavyweight, you should lose weight. 205, 265 is heavyweight. Most men can't fight at those weights. They are too fat. Like, John Jones is big. Okay, all of them guys that are fighting at 205 are big, top-level genetic dudes that are like minimum 6'1", 6'2". Yeah, that's the thing. You guys, like, people that think they should be 200 pounds, you're delusional. You're delusional. You should be light. You should be under 200 pounds unless you're a big dude if you want to be decently at a decent body fat level. You better be a big dude. And I'll tell you, there's going to be guys that are over that, they're on gear. And there's a lot of guys on gear. And they won't say they're on it. So if you see some guy in the gym that's heavy and he's fairly lean, the chances are they're on gear now is very high. Very high. You can tell by the way people talk and the way they lift, and you can really tell when people are on gear. They're all about getting big. They don't want to. They're scared of getting smaller. All right. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Until next time. Okay, if you want to support me, Snake Juice Salts. Okay, if you want to make a donation, my PayPal is pumpkincontrols@hotmail.com. If you want coaching, Cole Robinson, Facebook, Snake Diet Wizard, Instagram. Okay, hibernation mode, baby. Okay, hibernation mode, loose skin removal protocol. Okay, low protein dieting, low calorie, low protein, hibernation mode, water fasting. All this is going to get the best weight loss and results with skin removal till you get lean and then you can play. Until next time, stop eating, fatty.